This is Charles Haley. You're listening to Nothing But Niners.
So now they've got to start from deep in their end of the field, and Garrison Hurst takes advantage of it. He takes the handoff, swings to his right, gets to the 20. He's at the 30, needs to cut in. He comes back up the right sideline, breaks the third tackle, comes down to the 30. He's down to the 20. He's down to the 10. He's down to the 5. He's into the end zone. Touchdown! Touchdown! 49ers! 96-yard run from scrimmage. Garrison Hurst.
Young, back to throw. In trouble, he's going to be sacked. No, gets away. He runs, gets away again, goes to the 40, gets away again, to the 35, cuts back at the 30, to the 20, the 50, the 10. He dies. Touchdown, 49ers.
Set on the New Orleans 27-yard line. 49ers into the backfield. Smith on third down. He'll take it himself for a first down. And one. Alex Smith. It's in. Touchdown.
His left hip. Third down. Alex takes the snap. Alex looking down in post, and it's Gilmore. Touchdown. Touchdown 40. It is second down. Ryan takes the snap, goes to slant on the left side. It's Michael intercepted. The 49ers pick it. And Navarro Bowman. He's redemption. Navarro Bowman running it all the way for the touchdown. No greater redemption.
Kaepernick shoots it. Hold everybody. Colin Kaepernick. What a game. Touchdown.
Click, click, boom. What's going on, faithfuls? The Nothing But Niners crew is back. And guys, we have a lot to discuss. Before we get to any of all that, we're going to start with the entire crew. Fellas, how's everybody doing? Let's start with my man downtown over here. B, what's going on, Brian? How you doing, man? Oh, he's on mute. Oh, he's got to take himself off mute. There you go. I got you.
You put me on mute.
Yeah, with the background while you were playing the music. Right. My bad. How you doing, though, man? You had to look up and everything, man. That was perfect.
We're good. Looking forward to talking to you guys about this last week's game, and then looking forward to see what we got to do.
All right. Breezy.
Yo.
Man behind the sounds. What's going on, Playboy?
What's good, man? What's going on, y'all? What's going on, world? What's up, Craig? No, let me stop. Top flight security, Craig of the world, Craig. What's going on, Nick? How you doing, baby? And see if I can look up right. I think I got it right. I think I'm looking up.
You look straight up at Mike. That's what you did. You look straight up at Mike. You're like,
I'm just chilling. What up, Nick? Man, what's going on, bro?
What up, Mikey? What up, Brian? What up, Wayne?
Chilling like a villain.
We are about to have a phenomenal show, everybody. We want to thank you all for tuning in with us. You could have been anywhere else in the world, almost literally, man. There's a lot of stuff to choose from tonight, right now, too. It's a hot day. It's a hot day for Niner content, so we thank you all for checking this out. If you enjoy the show and this is your first time here, please hit that like and subscribe button. In the last week, we've had 130 new subscribers. Shout out to every single one of you guys. Don't be afraid to talk in the chat. Make sure you guys leave us messages, comments, and all that good stuff. If you enjoy the show, also make sure you turn on your notifications so you know exactly when we're going live. Stop by some of our social media handles, guys. We have Twitter and Snapchat. That is Nothing But 9. That's the number 9. Nothing But 9 ERS. All right. So make sure you give us follows on Nothing But Niners. Nothing But 9 ERS. We have Facebook, Instagram, as well as and Twitch. That is Nothing But Niners, spelled all the way out, no numbers and their spaces. And then last but certainly not least, guys, we want you to hit us up on the website, www.nothingbutniners.com. That is where you're going to find most of all of our stuff. All right. But we have a couple of articles that are exclusive on Fan to Fan Network on the 49ers page. So make sure you guys stop by over there, read those articles. You see it going across the bottom of the screen there. And that's where Brian comes in. A lot of people keep saying, who is this guy down here? Who is this Brian guy? Brian is the person, the man, the master behind the madness over there at Fan to Fan Network. He is putting it all together for us as far as the articles go. So, Brian, we thank you for that, man. And, guys, that's really going to do it. We have email and all that stuff, but they all know that. They're ready to talk some 49ers football. They want to discuss the injuries. They want to discuss the game. They want to discuss the turf. Where do you guys want to start, man? We heard from head coach Kyle Shanahan following the game. He updated the injury list, and let me tell you, it was quite a doozy. So I think we should play it personally. If you guys don't want to play it, we don't have to, but I think we should start with playing Kyle's update of the injury list. How do you guys want to play this?
Go for it, baby.
Yeah, we good? Nick, you agree?
Hit
Yeah,
it.
let's do it.
All right, here we go. I got it right here.
All right, guys, starting with the injury stuff. A lot of this stuff isn't still confirmed yet. We're you guys know we're at the Greenbrier. We had an MRI truck scheduled up here, and that truck broke last night. So the local hospital is helping us out with MRIs, but that's why we're behind on
The
everything.
truck that checks the brokenness
We've gotten
broke.
back so far. We got Jimmy with a high ankle. We'll see how that goes this week. Does still have a chance because the severity is not real bad, but it is a high ankle. Mostert MCL sprain will most likely be out this week. And then other guys who haven't got it confirmed yet. Tevin with a knee sprain, TJ Jones with an ankle. Greenlaw had a thigh contusion. And then Bosa and Solomon we're still waiting on. So we should get that back sooner than later.
All right. Oh, wait.
Go ahead.
Okay, yeah, that's it. Thanks, Kyle, for telling me to go ahead.
Go ahead.
He gave us a lot to discuss here, guys. And let's start with what people say is the most important position on the field, the quarterback. We heard about Jimmy Garoppolo's high ankle sprain. Everybody was saying he's out 4 to 6 weeks. And then Kyle drops a bomb that I didn't see anybody tweeting about. I didn't see anybody talking about on Twitter. He's day to day. He could go. It's not as bad as we thought. I want to know your guys' thoughts on this because this is going to come back to play with the turf and all that stuff. And I told you I was ready to argue today. I don't know which one of you guys want to go first. But if Jimmy Garoppolo feels good enough to go, yeah, it's still going to linger. It's still going to feel some stuff, right? Are you playing your star quarterback in this game?
I am. He's not the starter for nothing, man. He's the starter, right? So if he feels he's comfortable and he's ready to go, coach already said it's a green light on it. So that's a no breezy right there. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, that's a no breezy. So like it's really up to him, yo. And it's really up to the doctors. They said, if the doctors gives him the green light and he feels like he's comfortable to go, of course you bring your starter out there, man. Like, man, look, we can't blame the field for everything. You know what I'm saying? These are professional players and professional athletes, and they have to go out there and adjust. You heard Fred Warner say, yo, we can't go out there scared of no daggone field. Yo, we got to go out there and ball out. And if Fred Warner say it, then everybody need to think with that same mindset. No disrespect to Eric Armstead, but I'm just saying, yo, injuries suck. They happen. This field is here. We got a game there. Let's go, and let's get it in, man.
All right, Nick, I saw you trying to jump in, but you were on mute. Take yourself off. I want to hear your thoughts, man. You look anxious to speak right there.
No, I'm not anxious, but look, I mean, high ankle sprains are really tricky, right? And obviously, we all want Jimmy Garoppolo back, and the Giants is a team that I think that little stretch of the season right there is where you can afford to let him sit one more week. And do I want to? No, but if you have to, I'm okay with it as well. I do think that Nick Mullins can run this offense with a whole week of practice under the team. When Nick Mullins came in before, he didn't play bad, right? He just didn't have talent around him. He didn't have the type of talent in receivers that we have right now, even running backs. What I mean by with the running backs is not the guys who can run the football, right? Guys who will contribute in the passing game, the quick checkdowns, the outside screens, the flat passes. The passes in the flat. So can you move on without Jimmy Garoppolo for a week? Yeah. Is it a good idea to play him if he's not 100% on the field that we know has already been causing injuries? The way that they don't, the way it felt sticky, using their words, I would still sit him. High ankle sprains are really tricky. If you heard it again, obviously a high ankle sprain is a injury to the ligament that runs down. So possibly chance of making it even worse, where you lose him for more of the season instead of just 1 game to 2 games. You lose him for 5, right? I'm just throwing a number out there. So would I start him? No. Would I be okay? Or would I be okay if he started, depending on the injury and how far it went or how bad it actually is? Would I be okay if they didn't? Yeah, absolutely.
So with what we know now, let's say you or Kyle Shanahan, high ankle sprain, nowhere near as severe as what we thought he's day to day. We know the turf that he's about to go and play on again. Would you put Jimmy Garoppolo out there this week against the Giants?
No. As of right now, no.
No, you would not.
Yeah. As of right now, no.
Brian, I'm down here with you now, bro. I moved it up so that way Breezy can go ahead and hook it up with the little nothing but Niner symbol in the corner. What's up, man? What we doing, man? You
if I'm Kyle, I'm not playing him this week. I figure, given our schedule, this is a rare opportunity that I feel like Nick Mullins can still do the job. Now, if they take into consideration switching out cleats or whatever, but you got 2 professional football teams that play on this field, right? And everything that I've read, I haven't heard anybody else besides Eric and then the guys at the game having comments about how the field is. And I know that the NFL is trying to CYA, and they're like, we certified it, the team certified it, or the grounds crew or whomever certifies it. They did their job. That's all they're trying to say. But if the players aren't buying into that, I don't know. I think this is a good opportunity to sit Garoppolo for 1 week. Let's give him that extra time to heal up and move on. Now, if he feels like he's good enough to go, and Kyle has said that before, if the player says that I'm good to go, unless the medical staff gets involved, he relies on what the player has to say. So I really think it's up to Jimmy and what he decides.
Okay. All right. You know what, Breezy? This worked out. See how this split is here versus them over there?
I see.
It's not a black and white thing either, but here we go. All right.
It is, but it's cool.
Okay.
I get what you're doing.
I think I'm about to turn up over here. Let me ask this question before I proceed, because there's another guy who Kyle didn't mention at all, something else that no one mentioned on Twitter.
Okay.
No one talked about this, but his name was not on the injury report at all. And that is your star tight end, George Kittle. Yet I'm seeing people say I wouldn't play Kittle in this game. So before we continue with my rant, before I get on my little spiel, would you guys play Kittle this game also? Let's do this in reverse. Let's go back to B.
Okay.
Okay. Well, because I want to mix it up. Breezy, I see you loading up in the clip over there.
Click. Come on. Come with it, Brian. Let's go, baby. Let's go.
All right. So I looked at this with a couple of different perspectives, right? If Kittle thinks he's good to go, great. But we did just fine without him against the Jets. And personally, I don't rank the Giants that much further above where the Jets sit. So I think that we would be okay not playing him and giving him that extra time. But the leadership and the enthusiasm he brings to that field and that team, when he's playing, I think that could be beneficial to get these guys kind of back on track, getting their heads in the right spot, getting them on the revenge tour, if you want to call it that. I think that it could be beneficial for him to play. If I was Kyle, I'd leave it up to Kittle, but if he's feeling good enough, let's go.
If he's feeling good enough, let's go. So you're gonna put it in the player's hands.
I am.
You know what? Nope. I'm not gonna do that. I'm not gonna be nice to you. I know you asked me to I put Nick on the spot. I made Nick give me a definitive answer. Knowing what we know now, he's not even on the injury report. But that turf is a Niner killer. It's a player killer, not just Niner. 8 guys went down from the other team. Now, most of them
plus 3 guys the week before from the Pittsburgh Steelers. Yep.
But most of them came back from the other team, but 8 guys on their team went down. We know what's in store. I'm going to make you give me a definitive answer. Are you playing George Kittle this week?
If I'm actually in charge of the team, then I'm going to tell Kittle he's sitting on the bench.
Nick. What's up, man?
Why Wayne keep looking up?
Where are you going, Wayne?
I gotta go this way, or this way. Oh, this way. Man, freak it, yo.
He's like, please help me with this.
Nick, just answer the goddamn question. That's what you want. Yeah, answer the question.
Look, Kittle's presence in this offense is way more important than 1 week. The same with Jimmy Garoppolo. If you feel the turf is not safe and you've already seen a ton of injuries, you're coming back from an MCL sprain in your knee. Even if you feel good, I'm sitting you. You're more important to this team going forward than this game right now. So I'm sitting him.
And what happens if he does get hurt? How bad will that turn around and look on the organization? That's the other side of it.
Right, exactly.
The coaching staff, or at least Kyle, verbalized that, he did not like the way the field was, right? He said that trash in the conference, and then we saw some tweets by some players saying that they didn't like the field. If they stick one of their, we paid for him. He's a star player on this team. We put him out there and he gets injured after he wasn't on the injury list. I don't know that that's enough to say put him out there and put him in harm's way.
All right, Breezy, come on, man. Because I'm telling you now, if you don't bring it,
I don't understand. I don't get it. It's a field. It's a freaking football field, yo.
It's a brand new field.
I don't care if it's brand new, old. It's a football field. Like they have to go out there and play. If the field is determined to be that dangerous or that detrimental, then the game is canceled, and it's not canceled, right? So then you go out there with your best 53, right? Like you go out there if your best 53 is available. And let me ask you this: we lose this game, right? Because we sat everybody, and now we 1-2. We lost to a shitty team. Now we got to dig ourselves out of a hole, opposed to being 2-1. That's a big swing, yo. Yeah, I could be wrong. Ask me if I give a fuck. I really don't. All I know is you need to bring your best players out there and treat it like it's a real game, yo. People gonna get hurt. Y'all cry about D Ford not playing because he injured, but y'all don't want to play healthy people. Get the fuck out of here. Y'all sound crazy, yo. Y'all sound crazy, man.
But that's the thing, Wayne. They're not healthy. They are. That's the thing. You said you don't want to play healthy players. They're not healthy.
He's not on the injury report, bro. If he's not on the injury report, guess what he is?
He's been on the injury report. They were talking about the injuries from this game.
Oh, my God.
He's still on the injury report.
I didn't see him on the injury report. I saw other people that wasn't in this game on the injury report, and I didn't see George Kittle on the injury report.
How did you see the injury report? And the injury report for this week hasn't even came out yet.
I'm talking about players being injured. They didn't mention George Kittle.
Was he injured last week? Did he play because of an injury?
They mentioned Richard Sherman, bro, and he on the IR.
Was out.
Richard, that's his point, that both of them didn't play.
Like, let me tone it down. I'm yelling. Let me tone it down. I'm gonna tone it down because you can't freaking hear me. What I'm trying to say is, I get it. You guys want to play precautious football. I got you, but it's a dangerous sport. It's a field. Shoot, I don't like driving on roads with potholes, but I got to do it if I got to get to my destination, or I try to find a different way. You can't do that in football. They're not going to find them a different field, bro. I wish they would, but it's not going to be that. These guys got to, you can't have a player, your star player on defense say, yo, it is what it is. We got to go out there. Go watch Fred Warner's presser, yo. After he said what he said, everybody should shut the freak up and go out there and play football. If you healthy enough to play, if you healthy enough to suit up, then you go out there and play. We're talking about Jimmy G on a high ankle sprain. Maybe it ain't a high ankle sprain. Maybe it's just an ankle sprain, right? Because he's day-to-day. We got other people with high ankle sprains that aren't day-to-day. They 4 weeks out. It's different. So all I'm saying is, the best players need to be on the field. And if George Kittle not on the injury report, he got to be out there, bro. And whatever happens, happens. Because guess what's going to happen in football? Players going to play, cats going to get injured, and the sport still goes on.
That's different, though, when you're coming from a person. When a person is coming off of an injury, on a leg injury, where you just sustained over 13 or 14 injuries on the field.
Bro, he didn't even have to sit out this week. They chose to sit him out because they said they wanted to give him an extra week. You get what I'm saying? Like, come on, man.
Now, I do want to hear Nick's thoughts. Come on, Nick. Let's see what he got. Because I still got a lot of stuff, too. So I want to hear what Nick's thoughts are on this.
All I'm trying to say is the injury report that came out from Kyle Shanahan he was talking about the injuries that happened in the game. Kyle,
I'm talking about injuries, period. Like,
right, but that's what I'm saying. George Kittle, he didn't have to mention George Kittle's name.
I'm talking about what other people, what the media was mentioning, not just what Kyle Shanahan was talking about.
Right. Well, I don't give a shit about what the media is mentioning. I want to know what my coach is saying.
Okay.
I mean, when you want to know something, you go straight to the source, right? If I want to ask you about something, I'm going to ask you.
I mean, if you could get to the source, but my point is, we know who's injured already, right? We already know those people that are injured, and that's from that. All Kyle did was add to the injury list. That's all he did. He added to the people.
Right, but you said he wasn't on the injury report
because George
mentioned his name.
All right, man.
All I'm trying to say is he mentioned the players. He mentioned players that got injured in that game. Those were the people that he mentioned. Obviously, Richard Sherman went on the IR. He's going to be injured for 3 weeks.
2 weeks.
Well, 2 more weeks, but 2 more weeks. But the thing is look, you know, I understand where you're coming from. You put your best players out there, right? But where your team, you just lost one of the best players on your team, right? Hold on.
Part of the game, bro.
Okay. You're absolutely correct. 100% correct. But if a guy is coming off an ankle or a knee injury or a foot injury, and playing on brand new turf is totally different than playing on a turf that's been there for a while.
I'm just saying, if he's deemed healthy, Nick, then he should play. I'm paying him to play. That's all I'm saying. If he's deemed healthy, if he's not healthy, Nick, you're 100% correct. I'm with you. But if he's
go ahead, Wayne. Sorry.
I'm just saying, if he's deemed to be out there to play, if he's healthy enough to play, and I know you guys want to be precautious, I get it, but it's football, man. They could go out there and tear their ACL just walking down the field. Like, it could happen, but we can't. They can't.
That's where I kind of like disagree with you, because it's not playing, you know, it's not playing cautious football. It's about cautious for the team going forward. Like, George Kittle is more detrimental and Jimmy Garoppolo are more detrimental to this team in the long run than they are for one game against a team that hasn't won a single game. And in this stretch of the season is a chance where you can rest these guys and get them healthy for when you go through the gauntlets of Seattle.
Bro,
Orleans,
if we go
Green
one,
Bay.
if we go 1-5, right? Then what? Season over? Right?
Yeah, but we're not going to go 1-5.
It can happen.
Y'all are. It sounds to me like y'all are willing to risk and sacrifice a game here. This is what
It's not.
To me. It's what it sounds like.
It's not about that.
We don't need Kittle to beat the Giants. We don't need him. One player. We do not
Y'all are
need
saying that
Kittle.
like there's a guaranteed win.
Yeah, the Giants not going to lay down.
I'm not expecting to lay down, but I don't think that one player. Like, why would we put if he's 100%, Kittle's 100%.
There's no such thing in the NFL.
But if he's not 100% or at the level at which he normally would play, and we don't need him to potentially sacrifice him to beat the Giants. That's where I'm.
But okay, so let me ask you the question: why are we willing to run Trent Williams out there?
What do you mean?
Is he important to the success of the team in the future?
Sure, but he's 100% healthy.
He's 100% healthy.
But
He's not coming off. He's not coming off a leg injury.
All right, why are we willing to run Brunskill out there or Garland?
Because we don't have many very other options.
but they're coming back from leg injuries and they're out there. They're offensive linemen. This is my point, right? If all of a sudden we go into a game and it's hailing or it's snowing, we're not going to be like, oh, you know what? This doesn't look favorable. I'm going to sit my guys. That doesn't happen in the NFL.
But that's different, Mike.
No,
that's different. You're talking about weather compared to coming off an injury, bro.
It's not different.
It's different.
If these guys are ready to play, if they're 60% and they're cleared to play, put them out there because they give you the best opportunity to win. Here's why I say they have to play. All right.
Are you talking 100% playing time, like make Kittle the starter, or are you talking about feathering him in there with Reed?
What I'm saying. Just like they pulled Jimmy Garoppolo after the first half, we got this game in the bag, right? We were up, what was it, 21-3. It was 21-3. We were 3 scores up on this team. They said, hey, go sit down. If that happens again in this Giants game, I'm cool with you pulling anybody out there that you want.
Right.
You can pull anybody that I don't care. They pulled that entire starting defense except the corners. They left Spoon and they left Mosley out there. They pulled everybody else off that defense. I'm okay with that, right? But what I'm saying is when that game starts, you cannot send the message that player A is more important than player B. And there's no justification for it.
I can't send the message.
Huh?
I can send the message that player B is more effective right now than player A.
But you don't know if George Kittle's. All right. Let's try it this way, right? Who looked better? Because we got to remember that Jimmy Garoppolo's injury happened on the second series. Did Jimmy Garoppolo look better in the second quarter, or did Nick Mullins look better in the second half? It was Jimmy Garoppolo injured looked better than Nick Mullins, right?
Asking, so.
Didn't the injured Jimmy Garoppolo look better than the healthy Nick Mullins? That's my question.
On some plays, yeah.
I didn't think Nick Mullins looked that bad. I just thought he couldn't produce scoring
Did he
drives.
look better than Jimmy?
No.
At
No.
any point in that game,
Oh, I
did
get
Nick Mullins
your
look better
point.
than Jimmy?
I get where you're going with this. I get where you're going.
But you're also going by play, just play, no game planning, no practice, nothing, like just thrown in.
None of that's relevant. This
It is
team-
relevant. How is
the
it not
49ers
relevant?
are not in a position to act like any game is a given. We are not in a position to just give up a game.
Let me ask you this question then. Last year, you favored not to bring Joe Staley and them back to an important game because they were coming off injury, they weren't ready.
They
But
had
now it's different with George Kittle and Jimmy Garoppolo.
It's not different.
They do not play Joe Staley last year because coming back to an important game, you bitched at the team for bringing him back off an injury.
Yep.
What is the difference?
Okay, I'm glad you asked that question. Here's the difference. We knew from the reports that they didn't even practice all week. The reports all week long said if they are healthy, we're going to put them in on Sunday. They didn't practice a single time, Staley or McGlinchey. And that was going up against a good defensive line. We knew and here's the other thing, the team did great without them. The offensive line was fine without them, right? And I'm not saying that the team didn't do okay without Jimmy Garoppolo back there. They didn't do okay without George Kittle because we saw 2 touchdowns from another tight end. I'm not saying that the production can't be duplicated or replicated or even enhanced. What I'm saying is you can't send a message that this guy is more important. The reason they put an injured Staley and an injured McGlinchey back out there on the field, even though they hadn't practiced all week, is because we pay you money, and if we send the message in this room that some players are more important than the others, then we look like a bad organization. If you're healthy enough to play, if you're ready, you're going to get out there and you're going to play. And if you look like you're hobbled, if you look like you're broken, we'll pull you then. And that's exactly what they did with Joe Staley. Remember Joe Staley didn't finish? Remember they pulled him? Oh, it was a hand injury?
So to counter your analogy that you just said, because they didn't practice all week, that's exactly why Nick Mullins didn't look as good as Jimmy Garoppolo in the second half. He didn't practice all week. He wasn't in the game plan. He wasn't out there executing the game plan with these players. Give him a week, he can produce the same amount and move this offense.
Nick, what do you think backup quarterbacks do in practice during the week?
Take no snaps. They take 2 snaps.
You don't think they
3
prepare
snaps.
for the game plan?
No, they're not. They most of the time
think
the quarterback is practicing as the other team
no
and playing their defensive side.
That's the third quarterback and the
Mike,
practice squad.
We've argued about this plenty of times, bro. You talk
Nick,
about how guys don't get snaps.
There's no way you honestly believe that the backup quarterback has nothing to do with the game plan going into the week. I know you don't believe that. I'm not going to let you insult yourself by saying that, Nick.
He's implemented in it, but not getting the snaps to do it. He's not getting the snaps.
It's not about the snaps. He knows the game plan. He knows the game plan.
Bro,
and he knows the playbook.
Knowing the game plan and being able to execute with the players and get on a chemistry is totally different than just knowing something.
Nick, it's all back up.
Okay, guys, how about we have this argument after this week if Jimmy doesn't play, right? Because now you can sit there and say, yo, he knew the game plan and then he looked like Dookie, and then we can have this argument.
Nick Mullins has been in the system longer than Jimmy Garoppolo has.
It has nothing to do with being in the system, though,
No,
Mike.
it's not about knowing the playbook, and it's not about knowing the game plan.
It is about knowing the playbook and knowing the game plan, yes. But when you take the snaps, bro, why do guys come here and you think that they get a week of practice and they come in and play? Like, that's not how it works. Like, Nick Mullins has not taken a ton of snaps in this offseason, especially with no OTAs and mini camps, as he would have in a regular season and no preseason.
If they are
taking him with starters, you can't hold that shit against him, bro.
If there are 25 snaps for a quarterback, I would say Nick Mullins probably gets about 8 of them. Can we agree on that? He doesn't get all. I don't think Jimmy's getting all 25, right?
That's about a third. Yeah,
right. He's getting something like maybe not quite a third. You get what I'm saying? He's getting just a little less than that, right? It's enough for him to know the system. A backup's quarterback job is to be ready for the next play. That's his job. If you're telling me that you're not confident in him being ready for the next play, that's not on me or you. That's on the coaching staff.
But
and I know you trust the coaches.
That's not what I'm saying, bud. That's not what I'm saying at
that's
all.
what
He
you're
knows
saying
the game plan. He goes over the game plan, but he does not physically handle the game plan in practice. He does not come out there and throw the ball to the receivers. He does not take 10, 15, 20 snaps like Jimmy Garoppolo does. Jimmy Garoppolo is the starting quarterback. He takes the snaps.
Hey, why did Kyle? Go ahead.
when you're pre-planning and game planning, your quarterback is running your offense. Your second string quarterback is not taking snaps away from your starting quarterback, and therefore, if something happens, is going to come out and look like he's the starting quarterback. It just doesn't work that way.
Why did Kyle Shanahan throw passes to Jordan Reed across the middle?
I don't know.
Because Nick Mullins knew the plays. He
Doesn't Jordan Reed have a history of concussion? He put him at risk for those, right?
It's part of the game plan, yo.
My point is this: there's no player that's bigger than the team. It never in the history of football has that been the issue. Never. And because we pay these guys a lot of money, that's even more of a reason for them to get out there and play. If this team sits a healthy Jimmy Garoppolo, they will lose the locker room.
But that's
if
the
this
thing.
team sits a healthy George Kittle, they will lose the locker room. There's not a single player. Listen, Ross Dwelly will get more snaps if George Kittle sits. And I can guarantee you that he'll feel some type of way about them saying, well, we're just going to risk your health on this dumbass turf so you can go out there. We want to protect George Kittle. They don't sit there and go into a game and
but Mike, you literally asked me the question. As of right now, you are Kyle Shanahan. What are you doing? They are not healthy. I'm not playing them. That's your answer.
I heard you. And I'm telling you why I disagree. If I know that Jimmy Garoppolo is day-to-day and George Kittle's not on my injury report, those guys are playing. They are playing. Unless you tell me that he is flat out ruled out, he's getting out there on that field and he is going to play. Because that's what
I completely understand. If he's healthy, he's going to play. I completely understand that. But I don't think the team is going to – you physically asked me a question right now, put me to a corner and said, you're Kyle Shanahan, and as of right now, what are you doing with Jimmy Garoppolo and George Kittle? George Kittle's still injured, didn't come off the injury report, and Jimmy Garoppolo just got hurt. I'm not playing him. They haven't even started to practice this week. So we don't even know who's practicing and who's not.
They practice. It's Tuesday. They practiced today, didn't they?
No, they practiced Wednesday. Tuesdays go over tape. Monday's off day. Tuesday's tape day. Right. Wednesday's practice day. Yeah. So, no, they haven't practiced yet, and nobody has been reported. So you back me up to a corner and ask me a question, and as of right now, they're injured. They're not playing. And if they're still injured and don't practice, then they don't play.
And what's the answer to the question they asked? What's the most important game in the NFL? Brian, what's the answer? What's the most important game in the NFL?
The most important game?
Yep.
This week's game or next week, whatever, the next game.
Yes, the next game, right? Nick just said I backed him into a corner. He had to give me an answer. Listen, a dog in the middle of a field is way less of a threat than a dog backed in the corner that you're approaching. The Giants are 0-2. There are coaches out there that have something to prove. There are players out there that have something to prove. Barkley is down. They want to play for their guy. They're going to play inspired football. You cannot overlook any single team in this league. You can't. You give them a small window. If they hear that you are willingly benching Jimmy Garoppolo, they use that as fuel. That's clipboard. That's bulletin board material. If they hear that you are willingly benching George Kittle, they think that they don't need their best quarterback and their best tight end to play against us. That is
everything you're talking is facts, but you told me that am I starting an injured player right now? That is your question to me.
I never said
you're arguing. Yes, you did. You said you're Kyle Shanahan right now with the players knowing what we know. Are you starting them? That was your exact question.
And I said George Kittle was not on the injury report.
He is. He's still on the injury report. He hasn't came off the injury report.
That's what Breezy was telling you.
Right. So all right. So let me tone down because you're not listening to me. All right. So George Kittle was on the injury report last week. The new injury report has not come out other than the players that were hurt in the last game. That is what came out. The injury report for the week has not come out other than the players that were injured. So therefore, George Kittle was an injured player from last week and is still on the injury report and has not practiced yet. Until tomorrow, if he comes out and practices, he's still on the injury report.
Has George Kittle even flown out to West Virginia yet? Do we know that?
Not yet.
Yeah, we don't even know.
Okay. All right.
Quick question. Same topic.
He's there because he's not on the injury report.
Because
he's what? What?
He's in New York. He's in New Jersey or West Virginia because he's not on the injury report.
So let's back this up, right? At the beginning of the season, or before the season even started, Kyle told us we are not going to tell you the truth about injuries. We're going to mislead you. There's all kinds of things going on. How do we know? We don't. That Kittle's good. How do we know he's not good? How do you know that Jimmy's ankle sprain isn't a high ankle sprain? It's going to keep him out for the next 7 weeks. But they have to keep the Giants on their toes, not knowing what's coming. And that's where I think that if he's injured, sure, you just let him sit. Same with Kittle, both of them, same thing. If they're good to go and the players are good to go, then you can play them. And if you want to put Kittle out there and feather him in and let Jordan Reed be the man for the game, great. That's a good game plan. But you have to hold your aces. You don't show your hand. You're not letting them do anything. And that's the part. I mean, even Mike, you talk about all the time how you like to read people and listen to everything. So that's where I just wanted to throw that out there. I'm like, we don't actually know what's going on.
No, B, you're absolutely right. And I make it a point on this show to point out every time I notice they said one thing and they did the opposite. Mm-hmm. I make it a point to point it out. So I commend you for that. I just want to put these comments up here because they're going to disappear soon. JT, we thank you for the contribution. Logan Dean had the next one here. We thank you for the contribution.
My guy Logan. What up, Logan?
Yeah, Logan. You guys know that we were bringing it tonight. Scott, my guy Scott was over here. I don't know if we put this one up there or not. But Scott, we thank you for the contribution as well. There was one more. That's my guy Symmetry over here. Is Symmetry in Canada? Does that say CA like Canada? Is that what that is? He's in Canada?
I felt like we've asked him before and he said yes. So I'm gonna go with yes.
Because the other ones don't have that CA next to the dollar sign.
I felt like we've asked him and he said yeah.
Hey man, keep your loonies and toonies to yourself, bro. No, I'm playing. Thank you for the contribution. We appreciate all of them, man. I don't want you guys to think that we didn't see him. I've been trying to put up all of them. Not all of them, but all kinds. I mean, meaning contributions and not. But we thank you guys for it. So, we keep rocking out with us, guys. We don't have time to read them, but we have a lot to get to. We just want to have that nice spirited debate. We don't have the answers. We don't know. None of us run the team.
Correct.
Obviously, if it was up to Breezy and I, we would put those guys out there. We want the best chance to win. And I don't think that Nick or B are overlooking the opponent. I think they believe in their heart of hearts that we can win this game with or without Kittle and or Jimmy Garoppolo. All of us want the win next week. None of us are saying that we have games to spare. I just threw that out there to throw jabs at those guys. But there is more to get to, guys. We have to discuss so much more. So something else that Kyle Shanahan said in the all right. So something else that Kyle Shanahan said in here that we need to discuss was that the team did reach an agreement with Ziggy Ansah, the pass rusher. All right. Now, he didn't mention anything about D Ford in that injury report. However, we have heard since then and later on in that presser that D Ford went from neck spasms to back issues. Mm-hmm. All right. And we don't have a timetable for his return. So we have to use our Inspector Gadget skills here. Yeah. We gotta put all this stuff together and try to come up with some solutions, guys. So let's talk about this here. D Ford has not been put on the 3-week IR.
Nope. He wasn't even put on the injury report, and they asked him about D Ford. They asked about D Ford's issue with the neck stuff, and then Kyle came out and said, "Oh, we found out that it was more than neck, and it's down to his back, or whatever." So, had they not asked, we wouldn't even know about D Ford's back.
Exactly. It was something that they were trying to keep under wraps. He couldn't get out of answering it. He answered it, but it seems like now. Do you guys consider this a day-to-day, a week-to-week? There's no timetable, but they have ruled him out. Is that correct?
Yeah.
Nick is giving me the head nod. Yeah, Brian's giving me the head nod. All right, so he's out for this week, but he's not on that IR list. They have not put him on that 3-week IR. So there's a chance, right?
Correct.
Or do we feel like there's something else going on? Now, I'll be honest with you guys.
Hey, I got a quick question about the IR. How often can you put a player? Is that all season long?
All season.
Okay, so no matter when you put them on there, it's just a minimum of 3 weeks.
Correct. Usually it's 6 weeks. Usually it's 6 weeks or ending or season
ending. Right.
So if Sherman comes back week 4, good to go, and then gets injured again, but it's a mild injury, but enough that he's going to be out for 3 to 4 weeks, we can stick him back on there and bring him back.
I love it. I love the new IR rule. And
I think that should continue.
I think the NFL needs to keep
because it's like normally the thing that sucks before was you can only bring back 2 players.
Yeah, it's like they're penalizing a team for players getting injured.
So that's exactly why Marquise Goodwin, when he went on the IR, he did not come off the IR because we chose somebody else because we needed that position. So therefore, he had to sit out the rest of the season.
Yeah.
So it should be 3 weeks. It should be 3 weeks with any amount to be able to come back. You're the one that has to rotate your roster. You're the one that has to, figure out who's going to be your 53. So I don't understand the whole thing with the IR.
Why do people keep calling D Ford soft, man? I don't get it. I understand he has like issues with injuries and things like that. We talk about a player's back, man. There's this thing called a spine, and it's in your back. It comes from your brain all the way down through your back, and once that's done, like it's a wrap.
Nick can tell you better than anybody on this show, man. That back is important as hell.
So, like, the moment they mention somebody's back, I think we should just chillax, right? I mean, just fall back and just let's see what happens. I mean, I'm sure he doesn't want to be injured. Like, I don't know why he's soft. All right, it's cool. It's cool. I'm not gonna get it.
It's not cool. It's not cool, and there's something that needs to be addressed because people often come at players who can't go out there and perform. Go ahead, Nick. I see. Go ahead. Talk about it, man.
Yeah, I mean, look, we've seen these about guys with they're not talking trash when if a Nick Bosa has a hamstring injury or another player has a soft tissue injury. They're not talking shit saying they're soft. It's get Godspeed, get your health right. Can't wait to get you back on the field. Not let's cut them. Let's get rid of them. I understand that D Ford has had a history of injuries, right? But Wayne has said that earlier on the show it's football. It happens, right? These guys put their bodies and beat them up like through and through. They're 275, 300-pound men just beating each other up an entire game. When it comes to a back, man, your whole nervous system runs through your back. So, everybody's talking about, Ryan Shazier, right? He had a back injury. Did you guys call him soft?
No, in fact, they applauded every step of his recovery.
I don't get
Alex Smith, right?
Applauded.
Don't even play here anymore. Applauded every single snap because it's football. Shit happens, man. Look, as much as I love D Ford, I want D Ford to stay here. And guess what? He ain't going nowhere, especially now the injury to Nick Bosa.
Oh, they don't want to hear that yet, Nick.
Yeah, well, they don't want to hear it, but
they're not ready for that yet, Nick.
You know what I mean? So,
the group chat was popping today. I swear to God,
yo. I was like,
y'all could have heard the thigh jokes. That. Like, it was going crazy today.
Every day, every night.
I'm sorry, Nick, I interrupted you. My bad, man. I'm sorry.
No, but I'm just saying, like, I'm tired of hearing guys call these players
ninja,
like, soft because of an injury. Like, it's just it's aggravating, man. It's really aggravating because it's not that these guys don't want to perform. Their body just broke down and something happened.
Yeah.
It's crazy, but look, I understand, D Ford had some knee issues, right? Look, now we're not even complaining about his knee issues. He got those fixed. It's something else, right?
We haven't mentioned his knee all season.
Right.
Not even in the offseason.
Right.
It hasn't been one mention of it. And we'll see what happens. He's out this week. I'm not going to dwell on it. I don't know if any of you guys want to talk on the D Ford issue, but we can keep it moving if not.
No, I just pray for his health, man. Like I hope the guy goes out there and gets healthy. That's most important right now. Just as much as I want Nick Bosa to heal, get the surgery, heal up, and be healthy, and Jimmy Garoppolo to rest that ankle, and whoever is unhealthy on this team, please get healthy. Like that's all we can ask for.
Before we move on, let me ask you guys a question here. Who would you have? All right, so DeForest Buckner was here. We traded him away, right?
Yep.
Who are the two most important pieces to your defensive line before the injury of Nick Bosa?
Bosa and Ford.
Bosa and Ford, right?
Even with Buckner.
That's a no-brainer.
Right? Mm-hmm. Even with Buckner, right? That's a no-brainer, right? So now
they're gone.
Bosa's gone.
For the season.
Now, what's that?
For the season.
Right,
yeah.
For the season. D Ford becomes your next most valuable piece on this defensive line. If he's not healthy, now we're down to Eric Armstead.
Yep.
Kerry Hyder.
Yep. Oh, Hyder played 2 good weeks.
Jones, who's injured.
Yeah, Ziggy on going to be filling in, obviously.
And Ziggy still hasn't passed all
COVID
of his
yet.
COVID
Right.
tests, so he's not even officially with the Niners.
Oh,
People
you
are
know
asking
who-
us why we didn't do the breaking news. That's why.
That's why. But you know who's going to be up? Deion Jordan's going to get called up.
He's gonna have to if Ziggy don't pass this other COVID test.
I think he gets called up, period, because we need depth on that defensive
Yeah,
line.
True.
And he's on the speed side, right? So now you got some speed who can kind of like take that side where Ford is playing. Now that Ford is going to be out for however long they said, which is weird, like we said, because he didn't get put on the IR. So we don't really know what they mean. They could be lying to us. But I do think Ziggy's going to pass the test. He's passed the test 2 other times. We just have to wait for the results to come in. But you don't want him starting. You want him to come in and spell, right? Fresh off the bench. So that's my
This comment by Daddy-O here, like, what up, man? Appreciate you being in here, but I definitely don't agree with this.
I don't know
Because
what it means by being out.
yeah, so you can't be valuable being out. I think out or more than in, or being out while being more in than, I guess, right? So everybody looks at statistics and they say, well, you know, because look, D Ford has played in what? How many games, Mike? 14?
Some 14 to 16 games.
13 or 14 games in 2 years, 3 years, 2 years.
Right, because he was out after like week 11 until postseason, right?
Yeah.
I thought he was out some games before that, though.
Well,
I think he missed one
he
before
went out
that.
earlier in the year.
Yeah.
He went out in like week 4 or week 5.
Yeah.
Then he came back in week 11. Then he got hurt again against the
He
Seahawks.
played in 11 regular season games, and then he played in all the playoffs.
Yep.
Right. But when people look at Ford,
Yep.
they think he's not producing because he's not getting sacks, right? Nick Bosa the other day had no sacks, right? Against the Arizona Cardinals. Do you know how much of a force he was in that game, though? Like the pressures, the hits, the ability to close up holes, the positioning of making people change places.
The stuff that don't make the stats.
Right. If
Right.
you want to go back and look at statistics,
the intangibles.
The Niners defense without D Ford on the field, when D Ford was on the field, we were averaging 4.5 sacks per game. And that's not because he was getting 4.5 sacks. That's because of what he brings to the table on the defensive line.
Mm-hmm.
You take him out, the Niners ended up 3 weeks in a row with a sack. 3 sacks in 3 weeks. So, look.
How much is D4 making this year, guys?
I think 17, 16.
Y'all got me on my toes over here. Okay.
I think it's 16 or 17.
And we're mad because he's making $17 million and not on the field? That's what it is? I'm just trying to understand why we're upset for a person being injured.
Well, he restructured. So he's probably, I think he's at like, I don't know.
This year, all right, 2020, his he did a restructure and he actually got an extra 3.1 million. His cap hit is only $6 million this year.
So he's making $6 million. Oh, that's how much if we cut him.
Yeah, that's his cap hit. His base salary this year was only $900,000. His signing bonus for this year with the new deal was $1.6 million. His roster bonus was $600,000. His workout bonus was $100,000.
So where's $17 million coming in?
Restructure, he was given $3.1 million.
Before he restructured, I think that's where his salary was supposed to be. Once he restructured, we pushed all of that forward.
He's not even getting,
which is why he's not leaving anytime soon, because that's what we were talking about offline.
Yes.
Right. So why are we crying?
It's not. It ain't.
No. I'm talking about we as a family, man. We're all faithful. We're just having a healthy debate. You know what I mean? But I'm not talking about us four here. I'm just talking about why we crying. Like why
It's something that this fan base does all the time. You know, we want to get rid of D4 because he's not healthy all 16. We want to get rid of Eric Armstead because he's not as healthy as DeForest Buckner is. Like it's tiring. Guys, there are injuries. Look at what they do when they're on the field and see if they're worth keeping around. It's that simple. To me, it's that simple. That's
right,
it.
Mike, you can probably run with the stats because I don't have them exactly, but I mean, you could probably discuss how effective our defensive line was with him on the field last year versus not with him on the field.
Well,
And
Brian,
those things don't always show up, right?
Listen, Brian, they know.
I don't think they understand.
They don't understand, but they know. Like, they know what we're talking about. That's what Nick just said. He just said that. They know. They thought it's expectations, right, guys? Our expectations. All right. Look how we trash Jimmy G. Look how I include me in the we, even though I wasn't the one doing it, because we're faithful. We're all family. Look how we trash Jimmy G week 1. Because our expectations was for him to shake off the Super Bowl, come out here, throw 17 touchdowns and 0 interceptions in game 1. That's what the expectations for Jimmy G were. Where he completed over 50% of his passes, right? He didn't throw for many yards, but he had 0 interceptions and 2 touchdowns. And we crucified this guy. I mean, crucified him because he couldn't complete an over the touch throw. It was short, or he threw balls high.
You gotta look at how bad is he getting it from the media? The media talks down about Jimmy all the time.
Why do we got to do it?
Because that's what most of the fan base listening to is that they're not watching the games. I don't know. They just take the journalist's word at its written value.
I got you. I'm just saying, guys, we're here. I'm sorry that I'm so optimistic that I'm always looking for that little small inkling of positivity to grow off of. I'm that mustard seed faith guy. If y'all don't go to church and know anything about the mustard seed, I'm that type of guy. That's all we need. That's what faith is all about. Having the size of faith of the size of a mustard seed. So if we're going to call ourselves faithful, we got to take the good, the bad, and the ugly. Like that's what happens. You know what I'm saying? So when Jimmy G didn't have a great game according to what he was supposed to have expectations, then he comes out here in week 2 and looks like super Jimmy whatever, and then all of a sudden he goes down with an injury. The only reason why I wanted him to even stay in the game was because I didn't want him to break up his continuity and his mental. Like I was like, oh, he's on lock. He's on pit bull lock. If we take him out, that might stop. And we were staggered for a minute. We couldn't score into a big run. Like, you know what I'm saying? So I just want us to just understand, like, we can't control, the players can't control, the coaches can't control like life. They can only control plays and things like that. And then they can't even control that because things happen. Like defensive coordinators might, go do something to counteract a good offensive play and vice versa, right? They can set the players up to be in the best positions to win, to do these type of things. And we've seen it. We've seen Kyle Shanahan set this team up to be in a position to win every game, but the players fail in execution sometimes, right? Or a ball's too high or a ball's too low or a player doesn't reach out to grab it or whatever. So all I'm saying is, guys, we got to be like a little bit more like, I know our expectations are high, but we got to just have a little bit more faith. Like we got to really start like owning that. That's why we are called the faithful, because we can be we could go 2-14 this season. Then what?
Look, the thing is like what we do on this show here, man. Like I was not a Kendrick Bourne fan, right? And I watched more of him. I started to watch more tape of him, and I gave him his props of where he was at. This is the thing, right? It's okay to have, be upset with the way that a player plays, right? But that doesn't mean go out and say, cut the guy. Absolutely. Or, get rid of him or do things like that. Or if he's injured and he can't come back, like those aren't reasons to say, get rid of this guy. Now, Breezy, you just went on about the whole faithful term, right? And just like you said, it means the good, the bad, the ugly. And I understand that this fan base is tired and we finally get another winning season. And it's like, damn, here we go again. Injury bugs are killing us. But y'all don't understand. Last year, we were one of the most injured teams in the NFL. We were one of the most injured teams.
I like fighting you southpaw, baby.
Like, I don't understand it. So, like, we're worried about this, but we also, all of us praised our depth last year. We still have that depth. We still have these guys that are true and tried in the trenches and played this football team and took us to a Super Bowl. The Justin Schools, the Ross Dwelley's as fullback.
That's what I'm talking about. Sorry.
Right? The Kendrick Bournes, the Emmanuel Sanders came in and helped us, right? How much was he? He was a huge help, yes, but he wasn't a guy. We went and got him because of injuries. Trent Taylor's, Jerick McKinnon's were down. All these guys are back that are producing right now. Jerick McKinnon looks like he's running with his head on fire, right?
Oh, did they
The
want to
kid looks
cut
great.
Jerick McKinnon too? Oh,
We all said all year, oh, well, what is McKinnon going to bring to this? Cut him, because he's got 2 knee injuries. We haven't even seen him in a 49ers uniform. Get rid of him. But now –
I wasn't here last year, but so I have to be like,
no.
I wanted that guy. I wanted that guy to be drafted by the Niners.
Right, but I'm saying not us, but I'm saying as fans. I'm speaking on behalf of the fan base. So this season isn't over. I understand losing Nick Bosa is huge, right? Having a D Ford who's not healthy right now is still a big factor. But just like Kyle Shanahan said the other day, I have 100% faith in the guys that we have here. They can do it. They will do it. And the season's not over. And those guys know that. So we got to stop worrying about cutting people and getting rid of people because of injuries. Because guess what? Kyle Shanahan looks like a genius right now. Not getting rid of Jerick McKinnon. Because now you're down Raheem Mostert and Tevin Coleman. And now look who your back is. Jerick McKinnon. We're not going to, an undrafted guy or somebody who hasn't taken snaps in the NFL before. Somebody who knows Kyle's playbook we're going with. And he's
Did you see my show notes? Did I show you my show notes?
No.
I think y'all be
Nick,
they be
in my bag,
hey,
bro.
Brian, they be cheating, yo, because you no, listen, Brian, in the group text, right? What does Mike say to Nick? Yo, Nick, text me. So they be cheating and shit.
Offline conversation.
Oh, no.
Y'all be cheating, cuz.
He texted me asking me about the show tomorrow because he thought it was today with Nick Clark, which is tomorrow because
I had parent-teacher conferences today. I don't cheat. Nick knows I try to keep my thoughts to myself. I like the shows to be organic.
Hey, Brian, you got my number, right? We're gonna make sure that we share notes. You know what I'm saying? Because they be cheating. I don't give what they say.
But seriously, guys, like not you guys. You guys already know this, but the fan base, like, guys, stop. Look, it's one game. Like, I understand we have a gauntlet of plays, and this is the reason why George Kittle and Jimmy Garoppolo need to be healthy going forward, because those are pieces that we're going to need in the stretch. And when I say stretch, I'm talking week 6 on, not later down the road. So therefore, if they're good to go, then they play. If they're it's on the gray, like the gray line, then don't risk it because you need them longer. But look, all these guys are going to step up, man. You're going to see better production from these guys. You may see Ross Dwelly more. You may see, Jordan Reed looks to be one of those, surprise signings to where if he stays healthy, because all y'all are praising Jordan Reed right now, but if he gets a concussion, God help the man. Because y'all are going to cut the dude.
Oh, we knew he was going to get injured, right?
But
and that's the thing is like we appreciate him, and then when their history catches up to their present, it's like, I told you. We all of a sudden turn to the little inflatable dudes. I told you. I knew that was going to happen. Like, no, we got to chill out, guys. It's football. Find me a player that's never been injured. Find me one. If he's playing, he's been injured, and we gotta chill out with that. That's all I'm saying.
I bet all of y'all bitched and complained when Frank Gore was drafted by the Niners. Why are we drafting a guy with 2 ACL injuries?
That cat got 2 new knees. I don't care what y'all.
And he won't be playing until he's
Michael James.
Right, but I'm just saying, like Frank Gore, and then people go and you praise him now. He's a 49er god. But when he was drafted, you guys probably weren't thinking like that. You're like, what are we doing?
I saw people tweeting last week, I hope Frank Gore runs for 300 yards against the Niners. I hope we win, but I hope he runs for 300. I'm like, yo, no, sorry, wrong, no. Not against my squad, no. I don't want to see that.
I know. That's why I'm like, I love Frank, but
like, bro, we just wired different. Like, no.
Bro, I love Frank.
This isn't a bash the fan show. I just wanted to have a heart-to-heart because it hurts me to hear y'all say cut this player each and every single time, and I'm just like, why? Plus, when we cut people, we spending money, so we might as well keep them here until they're healthy, right. Like just to see if we could get some return on our investment, right? Y'all know about ROI. You know what I'm saying?
Oh, damn, somebody changed the comment. Yeah, but no, Breezy, I completely agree with you. Some of these guys we got to keep here. D Ford is one of them. Jet McKinnon is one of them. We have paid you enough money. It's time for us to get our value out of it. Thank you for going back to the Cal Young comment here. I bashed McKinnon for 2 seasons. It wasn't because he was injured either. Let me be clear here. I have never killed a player for being injured. That is not Mike's thing. However, I said he couldn't even earn the number 1 spot while he was in Minnesota. Why are we bringing him here to be a number 1 running back?
Yes,
Why are we giving him so much money to be another number 1 running back when he couldn't even earn it? He was behind Toby Gerhart. Where's Gerhart? That was my thing.
He's not in the league anymore either.
Okay. Now, with all that being said, and I saw somebody in here say, oh, he's slow. He don't have that gear to finish. But that 0 to 20-yard range, that boy is ill.
Yeah, well, he ran out of gas. I mean, he hasn't ran that far in who knows how long.
Thank you, Nick. This dude was doing some others. Like he's not okay. So Mostert's fast, right? Mostert is a one. It's not even a move. It's identify the hole and just straight line through it. That's all Mostert has. He has nothing else. There's no special move. McKinnon will juke. McKinnon will twist. He will spin. McKinnon is you playing Madden. Like that's how McKinnon is. And there's only so many times you can press X for that turbo, for that boost.
RT.
That's McKinnon.
That line goes down.
Yes,
RT.
bro.
Yeah.
McKinnon, that guy was playing for. I told y'all when the season before it started, the player I'm most excited to see. I never said he was going to be good. I said the player I am most excited to see on this team is not Jalen Hurd. It's Jerick McKinnon. And I think we're just scratching the surface. I'm going to shut up. I'm going to let y'all talk on it.
The best part of that play.
Contributions in there. Go ahead.
The best part of that play was when he was like, nah, I ain't going out of bounds. Turned back in and just truck dude.
Bro.
And took the contact.
Threw the tackle at him.
I'm going to
Threw the
go,
shoulder at him.
before I go to bed tonight, I'm just going to fast forward to that run. That's what I'm going to do. I'm going to watch that and replay that in my sleep. Listen, Callie says, yo, I called myself out on Twitter over McKinnon. I was wrong on Jet. I'm man enough to admit when I'm wrong. So, my guys, when I'm wrong 99% of the time, which doesn't happen often. And that's what we got to do. We always eat crow. Mike eats crow. Nick eats crow. Wayne eats crow. We haven't seen Brian eat crow because he hasn't been wrong yet, but it's going to happen, and he's going to eat crow. So that's wrong. That's what we do up on here on this show, man. That's how we get down with nothing but Niners. Listen, Jashawn Page says, what's going on, Niner fans? 49ers can't leave the Giants hanging around. Yo, you're absolutely right. 49ers have. Why do I have to? Why didn't know anyone else read this comment?
No, go ahead. You stopped a couple words short.
You got a little bit
After
left to
what?
go.
After what? What they have to do?
Balls.
This is the perfect time for a Manscaped promo.
No. Hold up. We renegotiating right now. No more
Manscaped. Wait a minute.
Yeah. We did our job. They happy.
They won't get me to say the word.
That's right.
49ers have to bust their ass.
The 49ers have to dominate.
Right.
We have to dominate in this game. And you know what, Deshaun? He's absolutely right. And that's when it's okay to pull these guys out. That's when it's okay to sit your Jimmy Garoppolos and your George Kittles and your Trent Williams and things like, you know what I mean? At the end of the game last week, who were our tackles taking reps?
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? It wasn't Trent Williams. It wasn't Mike McGlinchey. They moved. It was Cole McKivitz, and you know what I'm saying? And it was good, by the way, for me to see McKivitz outside still playing tackle. I was happy about that.
Yeah.
That's another story for another time. But that's my point. I want to see these guys be reserved. I want to see these guys be healthy. But to start that game, we got to go out there with a one-track mind. Put that knife in them, shank and twist, as my wife says. We got to go for the kill. It's shank and twist, not just dig them a couple times. All right, Mark Espinoza, $9.99. Thank you all for the contributions. This one here says, so we okay with injury-prone guys now? I mean, Bosa has been injured even before we drafted him, yes. He is a beast, but let's be real. He gets injured too much. What difference is this from the bulky picks? All right. I'm going to give this one to Brian because he knew.
Wow. You see that bus? Anyway, okay. So you want me to answer
how we're
different? How it's different?
All of a sudden, because Trent Baalke was Trent Baalke was known for overdrafting guys who he knew they weren't going to start that season. He would draft guys that he knew he had to put on IR. You had a busted ACL while you were doing your combine. You were supposed to be a second-round pick. Oh, we got you. You know what I'm saying?
He was about dollar for dollar. He was trying to pick up a nice player, nice piece for the team at a discount price. That's all he was trying to do. Unfortunately, that did not work out on several instances, right? I think that the team's not necessarily okay with bringing in injured guys or bringing in injury-prone guys. That's not their style, because that's not what they're looking at. I mean, they talked about that since the beginning, the era started, right? They're looking at, a specific mentality, a character. They're looking for that golden helmet, the Kivitz type player, right? The things that we heard about during this last draft process. And I don't think that Bosa falls into that category. That would not be a Trent Baalke pick at all. Like, he may have picked him because he's talented to be at a number 2, but I don't think that the team took his injury background. He took a year off from college, eligible. Like he just didn't participate in his senior year, right? So that he could take care of that core injuries so that he would be good to go for when he got to the NFL. And I think that was a wise decision by Bosa to do that. And I don't see those two being equivalent when you're talking about what Baalke does or did versus what Lynch does. So I don't necessarily agree with the comment that was up there.
Okay.
The difference is guys that have been drafted even with injuries have produced here. Trent Baalke's guys never got on the field or produced.
Zero production, bro.
Well, even the guys that did were still. I mean, even if they weren't injured, they were still no production.
He probably got two to three draft picks right his whole tenure here. Maybe 4, maybe 5 at the max. But the ones that he drafted that were injured, none of them was right. Like they were all.
No, that's what I'm saying. Guys that were injured, that had injury seasons. You know what I mean? So you go and draft. You don't leave a Nick Bosa on the board when you're in dire need of a defensive end or a pass rush. A guy that caliber comes from a big school,
comes from a football family too, pedigree too. You got to
and like that. I mean, that's the difference, right? Trent Baalke drafted guys from production 2 years before their injury, compared to their injury and the years after of what they were going to do.
I'm disgusted we still have to talk about that, man.
So, yeah, no, it's horrible. But, I mean, it's just the comment.
Talk your shit, B. Let's go.
I kind of get where Mark is coming from. Basically, he's just saying, like, we're okay with drafting people that seem to get injured a lot.
No, because Nick Bosa wasn't injury prone. Nick Bosa had one core injury
of what we knew of. Like, you get what I'm saying? We didn't follow Nick.
That's what he had, though.
No, that was it. He didn't miss any other games. Like it was that one injury that caused him to miss the rest of that season.
And then he came here. Then he had his little hammy thingy that happened.
He didn't miss any games last year.
Agreeing with Mark. I'm just saying he had some injuries. That's it. That's all
he had. An ACL injury in high school, and he had a quad injury in college. That's it.
Okay.
But again, to what Mike said earlier, find me one football player that's never been injured. Like it's hard to find. Like these guys,
well, if they have, they're probably not in the NFL because they weren't that talented.
Or if they have, they got some bionic parts or something like that. Like Frank Gore got. I swear,
good
Frank
genes.
Gore got mechanical knees. Sean says McKinnon is a beast. We got some McKinnon comments up here, contributions we got to read. McKinnon is a beast, but I was laughing that long run he ran out of energy. The old Jet wouldn't have been run down from behind. We all can agree on that. Oh, Mike disagrees. Mike thinks the old Jet would have been.
I disagree. The only reason I disagree is because I don't remember the old Jet. I only watched him when I had to.
Disagree. Just shut up.
Wait. Here's what I'm saying. If he was that good, he'd have been a starter. So I feel like he's exactly who I thought he was.
That's not true.
Why was he never a starter? Why couldn't he beat out Toby?
Okay, bro. Here we go. I'm gonna break it down like this.
Tell me why he couldn't beat Toby.
It's not that he couldn't beat Toby. It's the way they wanted to utilize him in Minnesota. They wanted Toby to be there every down back, and they brought in Jet McKinnon to do special stuff. It was probably going to be the same thing Kyle Shanahan was going to do. You know why we paid him all that money? Because we had money to spend. right? We
So,
spent.
you're saying he was there Darren Sproles.
That's all I'm saying.
Okay, I'll shut up.
And that's cool that we could connect like that because not a lot of people remember Darren Sproles, but that was one little short dude that just, my God, he played football for a long time. But yes, that's who he was to them. And I think that's what we were going to have McKinnon be to us, right? And then we stumbled on some other pieces. It's the same reason why Mostert couldn't make a team. And then Kyle gets him, and all of a sudden, he is the starting running back for the San Francisco 49ers. It all depends on how a coach utilizes a player, bro. And if a coach got talent and he can't recognize talent because he doesn't want to utilize them in that way, that's on the coach. But it's clear as day that Jerick McKinnon has more talent than half of these running backs in the NFL. He's like our Austin Eckler. That's exactly who he's going to be this particular season, especially when we get the whole herd back.
It boils down to one thing, Wayne, right? And what would you say is one of the most important things for a running back to have?
Vision?
Vision. That's Kyle Shanahan's vision. That's exactly what it is. He envisions something, he puts it to the test, and he goes for it.
These comments, bro, they're hilarious. I agree with you, Nick. Symmetry says on the McKinnon TD, McClingy shouts, "That's my side, baby."
He did.
He can't say that, yo. You can't. On the film, he didn't do a daggone thing, but jogged up to the second level looking big for nothing. Listen, we do know. Oh, he jogged to the second level, but McClinchy's. That's another show. That's the next show. That's the next show. Eric says, "You guys are great. Speaking that knowledge, you're all you all dedicated. Thank you. You're all dedicated. Thank you, man. We appreciate your contributions, guys. Thank you, Eric, so much for that, yo. Pause too on that symmetry. Yep. Pause."
I got one question for the faithful, and you can answer it in the comment section, right?
Hold up. I'm sorry. Breezy, did you pause knowledge?
Because he said
people don't know that, man. You could have let that.
He asked me to. He said, pause me.
Oh, on the knowledge?
On the side baby joint.
Oh, okay. Oh, so all right, people still don't know knowledge. I'm sorry. Go ahead.
The question I got for you guys is we all talk about cut Trent Taylor. He hasn't been able to do anything in the league, blah, 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 right? Cut Dante Pettis. He's a waste, right? Blah, blah, blah. Where's all the cut Jalen Hurd talk at? Because this dude hasn't touched foot on the football field other than a preseason game.
I felt like Nick had that in the backside pocket, yo.
Is Nick coming at me right now?
No. I'm coming at fans. Like,
he had that, like, that was burning a hole in his pocket.
I'm just saying, like, where is that? Right? So we are all talking about cut Trent Taylor when he was producing his first year here, but then got injured and couldn't stay on the field. Right? Then Dante Pettis doesn't do anything. He's had some, one good season, a couple games in his first season, hasn't touched the field. But now Jalen Hurd can't stay healthy, but we're all still praising Jalen Hurd. So if it's good for the goose, it's good for the gander. So y'all should be saying the same shit that you're saying about D Ford, Trent Taylor, Dante Pettis, and all the guys that you're talking about, Jerick McKinnon, and you should be saying the same shit about Jalen Hurd.
You know what I'm gonna do? I'm gonna turn it around. I'm gonna applaud the fan base. I'm gonna applaud our viewers for listening to what we say. The reason I don't think they are hard on Jalen Hurd is because of how much we gassed him up on this channel. I'm going to attribute it to that.
They watched Jalen Hurd in a preseason game truck 2 Dallas Cowboys.
And it was the Cowboys.
And ever since then, he's been a godsend. He hasn't been on a professional. He hasn't been in a regular season game yet.
Nope.
But there's no cut him. So I'm with Nick. I can't help it. And I'm
not saying cut him.
No. I'm just saying, like, I don't understand why we're not why the fan base isn't screaming that. You know what I'm saying? And it could be because they just haven't seen him and they're waiting to see him, but he can't stay healthy.
I think a lot of that has to do with his paycheck.
And that's another thing.
And that's the wrong mentality. Okay.
I'm just telling you what I think. That's why people are not talking about it, because he makes less than $1 million a year. And the NFL, that's chump change.
This is what was bothering me earlier in the group chat discussion, right? Why do we look for ways to cut guys making millions and keep guys who are making thousands? Isn't it easier to let go of the guy that you can replace with more thousands?
I think that's the logic.
Sure.
Like, why would we want to cut somebody and take millions of dollars of loss? You know what I'm saying? Like when we're sitting around looking for outs for D Ford, we're looking for outs for Eric Armstead, we're looking for outs for Jimmy Garoppolo. Why are we looking for outs and guys like that instead of saying, hey, Trent Taylor, you're a dime a dozen. You make $300,000. We can find another guy like you. We can pick him up off the streets. Isn't that the easier one to replace? I don't understand why fans look for ways to get rid of the millionaires.
I don't know that they're looking for ways to get rid of it, but they're looking at players that we seem to be paying a lot of money. And specifically in D4 case, we're paying him a lot of money to play football, and we don't know what's wrong with him because it was one thing, then it was another. And whether that's smokescreen by the front office and Kyle, or if it's legit, we don't know. And so I think that a lot of people are like, let's let him go. But the thing is, as we discussed offline, I mean, you look at the contract and how it rolls over for 21 and 22. Sure, you can cut him, but it's going to cost the team financially big time. And so when you look at those numbers,
right.
That was my argument earlier when Tony and I were talking, was that you can't let him go. I mean, it's just not fiscally responsible to do that.
Right. I was just getting insulted by how, like, y'all were, like, really like, all right, well, what if we do this? What if this happens? And I'm like, man, bro,
I'm fighting to keep him. He was looking to say why we can't get rid of him. And I said, we're stuck with him regardless at this point.
Right. Yeah, no, you said that from the rip. I'll give you that. Now, guys, this is a really good question from Christy 1687. And I don't know which one of you guys want to go first. I have my answer because I know how I watch football games. But she says, question, when watching game, what to you? All right, let me read it how she wanted it. Question, when you're watching the game, what do you focus on? You guys seem to see so much. So I don't know if you guys want to go first, if you want me to go first, but I was taught to watch football a little different than most people. So I want to ask you guys how you do it.
Well, I spend a lot of my time watching the trenches just at the beginning. I watch the ball snap so I can see movement, so I can see if it's a BS ref call on a false start or an encroachment, and then I span right to the outsides to watch what the receivers and the tight ends, if they're going long or if they're taking cross, and to see who's coming across the middle. Then that's what I watch. So I'm usually watching I guess it's the second level, but I'm usually after the snap, I'm watching the linebackers after I take a quick glance on the outside.
It's a good answer. Very good answer. You guys want me to go next? One of you guys want to go?
Yeah, I mean, obviously, I watch formations. I also watch the defense. If there's a motion, is it one guy going over? Is it man coverage? What type of coverage is the defense in? What the running backs are doing? How the running backs block? Obviously, you move to the trenches. So I'll look and see, try to diagnose what the play call is, what the defense we're going up against. I'll look and see how a way that we attack that. The next play, same thing, but then I'll move to a different portion of the game. I'll watch the inside trenches. I watch Jimmy Garoppolo's feet movement, how he, produces on a 3-step drop to a 5-step drop to add a shotgun. So there's a ton of different ways. I mean, all game long, I'm watching something different so that I can watch and try to catch on and see from a coach's perspective, as in, what are we attacking? How is our defense playing? What coverages are we playing compared to how is the foot movement of Jimmy Garoppolo in the first quarter compared to what it was in the fourth quarter? How does it look with our running backs and then obviously the trenches? Receivers are okay. You can see their separation at the beginning of the game, but you need to see the all 22 to see anything about the receivers. That's for me. I got to watch the all 22 after the game to actually see reads downfield because you can see the whole field.
All right.
Yeah, well, for me, man, look, I'm a defensive guy, so I'm watching formations. I'm checking to see if we're in man, what type of coverage we're in. Are we in zone? Whatever it is going on with the secondary. The linebackers is really what I own in on. See who's doing what. Weak side, strong side, middle, obviously. Who's rotating with the running back? Who's following the tight end? Is the safety coming up? Bump and press, all that type of stuff, man. I really own in on the defensive side of the ball. On the offense, I'm definitely paying attention to just formations. Like, are we in 12 personnel? Are we in 22 personnel? Are we in 11 personnel? Like, I really pay attention to stuff like that on the offensive side because I just merely just want to be damn near entertained. I want to see touchdowns. So, that's kind of like how I watch football. I try to enjoy it, and then with all these mofos like throwing stuff at me, I got to go back, rewind, watch this, and then I just break the film down later, like when I get the all 22, and that's when I can decipher stuff and say, oh, Jimmy did this wrong, or this guy did this wrong, and things like that.
I got you. All right. Everybody, you know what's cool about this? Everybody has a different answer. So I can't wait to tell mine. And it was this. When I first started watching, you guys know who my favorite player is, right? It's Bryant Young. So I was taught to watch Bryant Young and Dana Stubblefield because it was, look at how dominant they are. Whether it's a pass play or run play, they run in one direction. They are constant. So watch them, right? But then as I grew up and I was like being taught to watch the game from a professional's perspective, they taught me to watch the offensive line. If the first step of the offensive tackles is a step backwards, it's a pass. If they go forward, it's a run. That's what I was taught, right? And then I was taught to watch the guards, believe it or not the tackles, the guards, because tackles can do either or depending on the set of the quarterback.
Correct.
And this is all kind of weird stuff. So I watched this snap of the ball, and then I watched the guards. And the guards will tell you if it's a run play or if it's pass play. As soon as the ball is snapped, boom. If the guards take a step back, no matter what, if they're what's it called, like a wham, if they're coming across the formation, if the guard takes a single step back, it's a pass play right away, no matter what. Tackles, that's not always the case. So this is
not true, because you can still have a pulling guard.
You can have a pulling guard on,
and they take a step back first,
right? But if they both come back, if they both come back, yeah, right. That's what I'm saying. I watched the guard.
I thought you were saying if they both, my bad.
Yeah. No, it's all good, and that's what I'm saying. So it's different for different people. I went from defensive line to offensive line to tackles, and then inside to guards. The one thing I was told to never watch, believe it or not, is the one thing that television shows, and that's the ball.
Mm-hmm.
They told me don't watch the ball. A play is successful or it's not, but the design of the play is what you're supposed to learn to appreciate.
Correct.
And so the last thing that I watch, unfortunately, is the ball. And by the way, guys, I hate all 22. I can't stand it because I can't hear the crowd. I don't like not feeling the emotion of the game or anything. Like, it's kind of like dry to me. But I understand why it's so important. So I saw someone.
It's definitely boring. That's for damn sure.
Yes,
but it allows you to focus in more,
right?
On watching certain things.
Absolutely. But that, and someone asked, where do you watch all 22? If you go to NFL.com and you sign up for the Game Pass, it's included.
It's part of include. Yep, it's included.
Yeah. So, but yeah, I watch the guards. The guards always tell you what kind of play it is. So. That's just me. I don't know how anyone else. And I guarantee you guys, Tony would have a different answer than all four of us. You know what I'm saying? So it's pretty cool that how we all do it. I really like that. That was a really good question, Chrissy. Thank you. All right.
To be fair, I don't do that every play because I really enjoy just watching the game.
Right. Just stepping back and watching, right?
Right. That's what I was saying. I want to be entertained. But
it's different when you're watching to analyze than just watching to enjoy the game.
But what's funny though, Nick? Because when we're at the game, what are we calling out? Formations. Oh, this guy's lined up in the wrong spot. So when we're at a game, I feel like we're part of the coaching staff. But on TV, I really just want to enjoy the game. Just want to enjoy the game.
Yeah. Look, football's just fun.
Facts.
It is.
There was a question here asking, did any of us play football?
Yeah, I know. And somebody had to bring up the fact that I went both. I played on both sides of the ball. Damn, I can't even say that. Ways. I know what I said, dog.
Say it, Breezy. Say it, Breezy.
Nah, I'm good. I went both ways in football.
I think I probably had the worst or shortest football career of anybody in here. I don't know anything about it. Yeah, I never played Pop Warner. It was high school, freshman year, and I blew out my knee before Christmas.
Man, that's right before the game.
I have no college experience or anything like that. Nothing. So I'd be surprised unless you just didn't play football. I guarantee you I have the shortest career of anybody.
A lot of guys don't go, even positional wise, they don't, they change positions, Pauls, later in their careers or
maybe
whatever. So, they
You said change, but you pause change positions.
That's
Yeah.
not that. That's Aaliyah.
Hey, at least wait, you only went both ways. I played all three. So
yeah,
Menage a trois.
yeah. Football. I started in Pop Warner.
Wait,
5 years old.
I hated special teams, guys. I hated it. I was like, why the fuck I gotta run down there?
I
Nah.
love special teams, man, because you just got a clean hit on somebody.
I had this one hit though on a punt return, yo, and my boy had the ball, and I saw the dude trying to get him, and I just bammed him out of bounds, yo. It felt amazing, yo. You bringing back memories, yo. That was high school football, man. That was my junior year, yo, and then I got hurt my junior year.
I'll tell you what. High school was fun. High school football was fun. But man, I'll tell you what, my coaches in like the 160 level, 150 level for Pop Warner, them boys
they were on another level. Yeah.
Oh, they were ruthless, bro.
The dudes that be on TV.
Between four corners, friggin' 6 inches that you can't do anymore, leg lifts and scissor kicks. Oh my God, bro.
Those 2 weeks of that training, that summer, that first 2 weeks of conditioning, yo, bro. And yo, we did 3 days, bro. Like first thing in the morning, you got to go to lunch. I'm like, yo, this is jail. Nah, yeah, it was crazy, man.
High school football was way easier, bro. Way easier.
Pop Warner was on another level, yo.
Yeah. Pop Warner was definitely on a whole nother level. That shit was fun.
I just watched Mostert's touchdown that was called back. I'm rewatching.
Bro, I was so mad because guess what?
Can we talk about Mike McGlinchey, please?
No. I lost fantasy because of that play. Now because obviously Mostert got hurt, so I lost by 4 points, bro. This week
he had 18.
You had Mostert.
I had Mostert, and
bro, that's like an 8-point play right there.
It's more than that. You get
more than that. It was a touchdown, bro.
You get 6.
Oh,
that's
and
like
it was a touchdown. That's right. Oh
that
my
was,
God, that was a 14-point play.
So that was 6 plus the other 6 plus it was like 7 yards, and he probably had another 3, so carried the 1. So that's how many points.
And it's a toss. So
that's 13 points right there, bro.
Oh my
Easy.
God.
Easy.
On an unnecessary hold, but I can't talk. Okay. Hey, Sean, you gotta chill, bro.
Watch progressive car commercials.
Is he trying to say she looked like the girl from the progressive car commercial?
Never mind. I don't know.
All right.
He said he was just kidding, by the way, guys. I'm gonna put that up here. Sean has not a single malice bone in his body. I don't want anybody to think that at all. All right. So he said he was just kidding. He wasn't trying to be insensitive or anything like that. All right. I thought that was a great question because all of us had different answers. I think that's phenomenal. I think that's great. And for a long time, the linebacker position was my favorite because I fell in love with the Patrick Willis guy.
I'm with you, outsiders.
What did he say?
Truthfully, I watch the TV with surround sound, yo. Listen, he's just trying to enjoy the damn game. He ain't thinking of a play. He ain't thinking of this. Only time I got you.
I saw a comment in here earlier from, I believe it was Melissa.
Melissa, yeah. What did she say?
She said something about how Grant Cohn blasted George Kittle for lying about playing in this upcoming game.
Oh, with Mike Silver. Mike Silver was mad and Grant Cohn because Grant Cohn blasted Mike Silver or George Kittle for lying to Mike Silver saying that he was going to play.
And all I'm going to say is this: if you guys watched our show, you would have known George Kittle wasn't playing because I told y'all that he wasn't going to play that game. Mm-hmm. I told y'all that they were lying about Kittle's injury and the severity of it, and y'all decided to go listen to the people with check marks. So that's on y'all. Watch this show. You'll learn something. I know that was a long time ago. I'm going to shut up. I have a couple other things for us to discuss. We're at an hour and a half. If you guys got to drop out, feel free to do so, but
wait, you're gonna be on for another hour and a half, you said?
No,
it'll turn into that.
We're at an hour and a half. I got about a half hour in me tops. That's it.
Damn. All right, let's go. We in the trenches now.
All gas, no brakes. Let's go.
That's right. Come on, fellas. That's right. We halfway through here. No, we more than that. All right. So I said Ford is out with a back injury, now neck injury, undetermined time for return. Mostert is likely out for a week. Here's my question to you guys, and we'll do this quickly.
Wait, that's all it was? Because I thought it was several weeks for Mostert.
No, it's 1 week, and this is my question for you guys.
Okay.
Is it because of the MCL or is it because of his child? It's that
Child.
simple.
That's an easy one.
Mm-hmm. Shanahan said he's likely to be out here. You know what? I'll play it again. I'll let you guys actually hear what Shanahan said because I don't want to misquote him, and I'm not 100% sure. I'm 99% sure, but we'll play it again. Here you go.
Most likely be out this week.
That's it. Most likely be out.
The local hospital is helping us out with MRIs, but that's why we're behind on everything. We've gone back so far. We got Jimmy with a high ankle. We'll see how that goes this week. Does still have a chance because the severity is not real bad, but it is a high ankle. Mostert MCL sprain will most likely be out this week. And then other guys who haven't got it confirmed yet.
All right. Most likely, not for sure. Which means that next week, to me, isn't in question. This week, there's a slight possibility. I think he's going home for a certain reason. What are your guys' thoughts on that?
Listen to the inflection in his voice, and he stutters when he talks about Jimmy. I don't think he's necessarily telling us the truth about Jimmy, but I think you're on something with Mostert, and I think it has to do with the baby, not necessarily how bad his injury is. But
Or maybe he's not even injured.
Maybe.
And maybe he just he left early to go help his wife he can't give the birth, but you know what I'm trying to say, to be there. So
to support her, yes.
Yeah, support, man. I remember that day.
Oh, Nick's had enough.
He's got
to go
timeout.
Timeout.
He got a penalty flag. He's going.
Yeah, Nick's on timeout. All right, here's my other question to you guys, right? So later on in Kyle Shanahan's presser, he spoke about how good and how confident he is in the remainder of our pass rushers. He said with or without Nick Bosa, with or without Dee Ford, there are a lot of guys who are very talented on this roster that are just waiting for their opportunity. He says, and we will never get to see those guys if it weren't for situations like this. He didn't name anybody by name. All right. We have certain pass rushers who are on IR. Ronald Blair, right? Who do you guys think he's talking about, and which pass rusher are you most excited to see get time in this upcoming game? Now, behind Dee Ford and Nick Bosa, the next guy was Kerry Hyder. He's looking for an expanded role right now. I want to know who you guys think is playing opposite of Hyder. Let's talk about it.
Go ahead,
Wayne. Go at once. Oh, there we go. Let's go, B.
So, all right. Call me cuckoo for Cocoa Puffs, but this is what I would do. I'd line Eric Armstead up outside, first and second down. You know what I'm saying? Bring him back on the inside on third down and fourth down, right? And then if we're about to bring in the Ziggy, this is where Ziggy can come into play, or Deion Jordan can come into play, to where you could spell both of those guys, right? You don't want Hyder out on third down because he's pretty typically good at rushing the passer. But if he needs to catch a spell, maybe take him out one of those plays so he can come back in and get the rush. But I would love to start Armstead on the outside, put in Kinlaw. They ain't got no running backs. Put in Kinlaw and DJ Jones is not playing. Who's going to play for DJ Jones?
Street.
Wait.
Or
Jones
Taylor.
ruled out?
No. I'm sorry. He's not ruled out. I'm just saying if he doesn't play, you got Street and you got was it Taylor? Who Givens, my bad. So you still have those two guys that can be on the inside, yo. I get where Kyle Shanahan is coming from. My issue is we're going into the depth. And if they're the depth, then who's replacing the depth? Tony tried to answer this yesterday on the Nitty Gritty Niners talk show. And he was like, yo, that's a good question. Like, who's replacing the depth? And that's where until our reinforcements come back, right? Until we get, Ronald Blair and those guys back, whatever, Dee Ford and all those guys back healthy. Yeah, I said him, Dee Ford. I feel like we're going to be playing on our depth. Can we get away with it this week? I don't think the Giants' offensive line is that. I think the Jets had a better offensive line than the Giants. So it's possible we could get away with it this week. But going forward, we need to start replenishing some of these guys for our depth on the defensive line. But to answer Mike's question, I personally would start Armstead on the outside. I would start Hyder on the other side. I would put DJ Jones and Kinlaw in the middle on them base downs, yo. And then third down, I would bring in one of those specialists that you just signed.
I'm with you, Wayne. I think that's exactly what they need to do. I'm excited to see Street, though. I want to see more of him. I like what he put on tape.
I'm with you.
I want to see more. But you can't forget about Daniels. He's on the practice squad. If they can elevate him too. I mean, if we need to bring up some depth, and the guy knows the system, it's different than like what everybody else is talking about. We got to go sign Wake. We have to go sign Clay. I'm like, no, we can, but no. I mean, we have the guys to fill in for them, and I know we lost Bosa for the year. People are just gonna have to get over that. I mean, it sucks, but it's just the way it is. So, I think Kerry Hyder is, he's Coach K's guy for a reason. I mean, they had nothing but good things to say about him in training camp, and I think he stepped up and filled in where he needs to. And I think that I obviously he's not at the same level as Bosa, but he's going to bring a different sort of, pass rush for the, opposing teams to deal with. And the fans got to be faithful and get on board with that, because it doesn't make sense to go sign, another guy. I mean, if we have Ansa coming in, eventually he's going to have, the whole package together, and he'll be taking that spot probably, but on third downs for sure. But I don't think initially he's going to have that. Same thing I said last week about Sanu. I didn't think that he would have a huge impact on the first game. Now, could they come out and Mullins throws him a 50-yard ball right off the bat on Sunday?
Yeah.
It could happen. I don't know. But I didn't think he was going to have much of an impact. And I think Ziggy's kind of in the same spot, especially since we haven't officially signed him yet. I mean, they've come to agreement, but until he passes his tests and, everything, he's not on the team.
I agree.
So the question is about the coach talking about the confidence in the pass rushers, right? And I already touched base on that earlier when I said the coach said he has complete confidence in who's here in the depth pieces. You get you were saying, Wayne, you get Ronald Blair back week 7, right? So he's somebody that's going to be coming back on that stretch that we need pass rushers. Look, I've been speaking praise about Kerry Hyder since day one. Kerry Hyder has been balling. If you look at Javon Kinlaw, if you guys seen that thing Brian Baldinger put out about Javon Kinlaw and his pass rush, he looks identical to, not identical to production wise, but with his sweeps and his hand motions and movements, he looked identical to Nick Bosa. You could tell that he was learning off of Nick Bosa. That's where I am a little bit worried about his transformation, because if he was really working with Nick Bosa on going forward, how much is that going to stop, and how much is he going to still continue to learn, right? Not that I think that it'll be a crazy bother, but look, I've been high on Hyder. I think Hyder can definitely fill in. Now, I'm not saying you're going to get the same production that you get from Nick Bosa, right? Eric Armstead is he knows he has to step up. He knows that the play has to be better. Now, you can go into this game and you're going to look at it and be like, into the season, and teams are not going to game plan you the same way that they would with a Nick Bosa, right? But that's also opportunity for these guys to step up. You talked about practice squad guys, right? Brian was talking about Daniels. Daniels is a guy that could come up, right? Obviously, Kerry Hyder's there. You're going to get Ronald Blair back. Contavious Street was playing outside a little bit. He was actually the only thing that I think he needs to work on a little bit is when he goes to get cut block, staying on his feet. But other than that, he looked good. He looked fast. He looked smooth. His transitions look good. Look, these guys are going to get more snaps. They're going to get better, right? I said it earlier, this isn't the end of the world, man. If I were to call up somebody from the practice squad, obviously JaMycal Hasty is protected, so I think he's going to be a guy that's called up. That's something with Tevin Coleman's injury. I don't think it has to do with Raheem Mostert, because you heard Tevin Coleman may miss a few weeks.
Right. That's who it was. Okay.
Right. So Tevin Coleman may miss a few weeks. So I think JaMycal Hasty is a guy that may come up for him. And then Obviously I have full faith. Kevin Givens balled out last year when he got the opportunity. He's already up on the squad. He's not on the practice squad, so he's a guy that may fill in. DJ Jones obviously is going to have to take a step forward. There's things that these guys can improve on, but they're depth pieces, right? So obviously they get less snaps at camp, things like that. So they will improve, man. I'm not really worried about it. Look, one team doesn't make you win, right? Or one guy on a team doesn't make you win. You got to have an entire team. You got to play with continuity. You got to be able to play together. You got to know what people are going to do. And you got it. Look, it takes 11 men. It takes 11 men, seriously. And it's not just one guy. Now, while Nick Bosa is a different form of an athlete and the Bear himself, he himself is not the reason we made it to a Super Bowl last year. Now, he had impact on the team, but he himself is not why we made it to a Super Bowl. We got to have faith in these guys that are coming up, man. They're professional players. All you guys – look, I ate crow last year. I said, Demontre Moore ain't coming here other than to be a practice squad guy. This guy took meaningful snaps, and when he played, he was good. He helped this team, right, besides his injuries. But when he came back, we were excited to get him back. Everybody's like, oh, and I ate crow on that. The same thing with Kendrick Bourne, stepping up with receivers. It made him better. So, look, I'm not really worried about it going forward, man. I'm not really worried about it at all.
I like it, man. I like it. I don't like this new drinking game, though. That's dangerous.
One other thing, though. Brian, you touched on Ziggy probably not being a big factor coming in week 1. I tend to disagree with that because this defensive line is pin your ears back and play the run while going to the quarterback. And I think he can fill in a lot easier than a Mohamed Sanu in 1 week or 1 day of practice, right? So I think in this defensive plan, it's pin your ears back, go forward, take up a gap, play the run on the way to the quarterback. I think Ansah will fill in fine for that. I think he will make a difference right away. Obviously, if he stays injured or stays healthy, doesn't get injured. So, yeah, I had to pause, correct myself on that. But and Mohamed Sanu this week should be in the game plan a lot more.
Mohamed Sanu is not going to get any playing time as a 40. Well, he's not going to get any significant playing time as a 49er. He might finish his 49er career with just 3 catches. He's not.
That's bold.
Debo comes back next week. Y'all know that, right? Not this week coming, but Debo's back next week.
Okay.
There's no
get that text.
So who do you want on the field? Debo.
My starting 3.
Yeah.
Debo, Ayuk, and Bourne.
Okay.
And then Taylor. And I'm still taking Pettis.
I think
over
I want Sanu over Taylor, yo.
He's going to be petting his cat on the sidelines. What are you talking about?
I think I would take Sanu over Taylor, bro. Sanu fights for balls. Dang.
Damn it, Wayne. Damn it.
He said it and felt you got to save it. You got to save it.
I didn't mean to.
Nah, it's cool. It's cool. But you know who fought? Honestly, the best fight for a ball I saw all week?
Brandon Ayuk.
Let's talk about the rookie, guys. We'll talk about the rookies and we'll go home because I got a lot of other shit, but we won't even get to that. Let's talk about the rookie making his debut as a 49er, his NFL debut. He finished with only 2 catches, but damn, was his presence felt out there. Guys, let's talk about it. What's up? What y'all got on it? Anybody go for it. You know what? B, you've been quiet. Well, at least since I came back. So
you were gone.
don't worry about that. Don't worry about that. What you got, man?
What, as far as our rookies?
Actually, wait, before you respond, Mark Espinoza, do not take a shot every time Nick says look. Because before Nick speaks, that's the first word that comes out of his mouth.
Look.
Do not do that. Don't do it. You guys will die. Nick will do better than Jimmy G at QB. I've seen Nick throw. No, he won't.
Doesn't he have a busted shoulder? Come on.
You didn't see me throw.
You didn't throw at our punt kick pass thing? I saw you try.
Is he talking about this Nick or Nick Mullins, guys? Is he talking about Nick here?
Wait. Yeah. I think he's talking about Nick, but
okay.
But wait, Mike, I have a bum shoulder, bro.
And I saw you. Oh wait, no, your insurance is watching. No, you're right. You didn't throw anything. You're right. Nope.
I couldn't throw.
Yeah, he's right. He didn't throw anything.
I kicked better than you though.
No, you didn't.
Field goals, yes, I did.
No. Oh, field goals is different, not punting.
Bro, I made what, like a 40, a 45.
Your field goals were better. Yeah, that's cool, but your punting wasn't better. I'm not used to kicking off the ground. I like to control everything. Catch, drop, boot it.
Like
boom. That's me, baby.
You like
that's me.
Hold the ball.
We gotta do another one of those shows when my shoulder's better.
Yeah. And my arm. I blew up my arm in the practices. You should admit it. I had way better throws in practice than I did on the camera. Now he's gonna look behind him. Okay, it's that fly in there. Right? Okay. All right, I see you, Nick.
I think that was my initiation to the Nothing But Niners. I remember those videos. Like I remember that.
You've been around since then?
I did. I remember Nick being able to kick, and I remember you throwing the ball. Like
and
I do.
My throws were hard. I shot my shoulder. It was raining that day.
Yo,
I had my 2 daughters with us.
Yeah, you lost pretty bad.
Mark said Nick's son kicked better than Mike.
Right.
Oh, no,
That's how I know I remember because Nick's
son is a minor league kicker. Of course he kicked better than me. That don't count. Like what? Wait, of course he. All right, never mind.
The whole thing was Mike said I can throw the ball 60 yards on a dime, like 60 yards.
Right.
Before it touched ground.
Right.
Okay. And what happened?
I don't think you hit 60.
It was 57 after I blew my shoulder.
I was gonna say like 56 or 57.
After I blew my shoulder out, Nick. Tell the truth.
No, you threw the ball. I think 64 yards.
Thank you.
In practice before we went on video.
That's what Mike said. He said that. All right, Ayukin.
It's not that no, Breezy, I'm not gonna let you dismiss me like you said. That's what Mike said. Nick saw it happen. It was a beautiful throw, and then it started raining.
I was saying that's what you were saying. In practice, you threw the ball better, and it took Nick 30 hours to sit there and say, "Oh yeah, in practice, you threw it for like 64 yards." That's all I was saying. Like that's what you were trying to say in the first place. You said
it was pouring that day too.
Yeah, so no, it really can't. I don't know what made us go to the.
Y'all playing with
we were supposed to go to the field up by you, and then they locked that shit.
Wet ball. Yeah.
Then we were trying to find a field with numbers on it because we didn't have the tape measure.
Right.
Then we had to leave from there, go to my house, get the tape, and then go back.
The tape measure. We went to a random field.
You know what, yo? I wish I could make a living. I wish we were making a living off of doing this because I could stay up all night and talk.
It's going to be less than 2 hours. I promise. It'll be less than 2 hours. All right, Brandon Ayuk.
Ayuk.
All right, Brandon Ayuk. Let's talk about him.
Ayuk. They'll never understand the thigh jokes. Listen, man, this kid had 2 catches for 20+ yards, right? I think I was impressed with the way I was impressed with one of the catches because he stole it from one of his players, from one of his teammates. Right, he took it, and then there was another one when he caught and he ran under and got some yards. I really like what this kid is going to be able to do. I did see him make some kind of like rookie like lineup formation type mistakes, like just being in the wrong place at the wrong time. But then when Nick Mullins came in, man, he was open on a few plays, yo. Like, and Mullins just didn't see him. That we should be used to that with our quarterbacks. So I think he's going to be a stud on this team, yo. I really do. I think his ceiling is super high and he's going to be a stud. And I can't wait to see them utilize him. We might see him on some reverses. We might see him like you saw a crazy formation of him coming back around, and we thought something was going to happen, but it didn't. But Brandon Ayuk is going to be a bright spot on this team.
I want to see Debo and Ayuk and Kittle and Reed and McKinnon on the same play. I want to know how defense deal with that.
With a little bit of juice. You know what I'm saying?
One too many. That's one too many players. Unless you're going to have, you can't do that.
Wait. You said Debo. Name him again. Go ahead.
Debo, Ayuk, Kittle, Reed, and McKinnon. Now, if you want to replace, 5.
Oh, that's perfect.
And then you got 5 linemen in the quarterback.
And then the quarterback.
Yeah, that's it. That's exactly it.
11.
Yeah.
That'll be. I want to see that just to see how the defenses deal with that.
I think Kyle wants to see that too. I think that's what.
Look,
shit. Let's go.
Because Kyle's been building we have to step back and see what hasn't been seen yet, right? Kyle was looking for a physical guy like Brandon Ayuk to play alongside the physical guy like Deebo Samuel, to play alongside the physical guy like freaking Jalen Hurd, right? Along with the finesse guys like Raheem Mostert, along with the finesse guys like Jerick McKinnon, right? He is building something here like to all go alongside the physical tight end like George Kittle. You know what I'm saying? The dynamic tight end like Jared. He is putting together something here that we haven't fathomed it because we haven't seen it yet. He's putting together something really, really, but I'm going to shut up. I'm going to let Nick speak. I know he was going because I got one more question for y'all before we get out of here. So I'm going to shut up.
Look, the best part about that was his physicality. And what I mean by that is going for the football. Look, I blasted Kendrick Bourne the week before for not going up and getting the football. And, you know, somebody wrote in here, Jason Van Dyke says, Ayuk picked that from Bourne. LOL saying, thanks for keeping my spot warm. That's why they drafted me.
He did.
My man didn't even wait on the ball. He literally cut across,
grabbed it.
Grabbed the ball and intercepted it basically from Kendrick Bourne. Kendrick Bourne sat like this, waiting for the ball to come to him again. And Ayuk just said, give me the ball.
Yep.
What did on last week's show? What did I say about our wide receivers?
They're not aggressive enough towards the ball.
That's exactly what I was saying. And what did you say, Nick, if Deebo Samuel was playing? What did you say Deebo would have did on those passes?
He would have caught that ball.
He would have went up and gone for it. Yeah. He would have at least drawn a flag. That was a critique.
I rest my case. This is no shade toward Kendrick Bourne because he's one of my favorite players.
We all love Bourne.
We all love Bourne. It's just that he doesn't have the aggression yet of a wide receiver. And if he lacks the mentality of doing that, I don't think he can ever progress into being a number one. You have to have that mentality to say, oh, snap, the ball is short. Y'all crack mad jokes on Michael Thomas because he cry and do all this stuff. But you know what he do when the ball's thrown? He'll go get it. He'll go get the ball. His little self would jump up in the air and go grab a pass. Same thing with Tyreek Hill. They go get those passes. They catch him, come down with the pass.
They attack the ball. So that's what Breezy's saying. They attack it.
Symmetry says, don't do that, Nick. KB came back toward Jimmy. It was an off-schedule scramble. And then he says Jimmy threw it to KB. Ayuk just came underneath on a crosser. That's fine. But KB still sat there and waited for the football, and Ayuk came across and attacked the football and stole it.
He said that's fine.
It's about – listen, their mindset is reflective in their hand placement. When Bourne is trying to bring it in like this, he's waiting. This is a waiting position.
Right, that's a pouch.
When Ayuk runs across the field and his hands are like this, that's attacking. That's my ball. And Ayuk didn't know if it was Kendrick Bourne, a teammate,
right,
if it was a defender. He didn't care.
He just thought the ball.
He was doing this
after
his hands got on the ball. That's the aggressive mentality we need, because if that was a defender and he came down with the ball like that, guess what? It's an interception.
No,
we have to have that aggressive mentality. But I got one more question for you guys. I love that y'all said
like Bolden.
Say what?
Just like Anquan Bolden.
Like Anquan.
And I said that too.
Yep.
Yeah, we're on the same page, Wayne.
Yeah, always. That's why we got to text each other.
I know. We got to give each other the scoop before we see these guys over here.
Right, because they're the super duper seniors over there. All right.
Kyle Shanahan made a joke.
It's their world. We're just living in it, Wayne.
Yep, I'm with it.
Shanahan made a joke. It's going to be the last thing here. We have about 6 minutes before we wrap this up. Shanahan made a joke, and he talked about how he made that joke with Jimmy Garoppolo, right? Everybody said that Jimmy Garoppolo seemed more poised and more.
Oh Lord.
And more. Wait, hold on now. Don't oh Lord. He seemed more poised and more decisive in the pocket following the injury. Shanahan said he made a joke. We can hit you in the bat. We can hit you with a bat in the leg before you go out there every game. Jimmy kind of laughed it off and said, ha, 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 right? But Jimmy was the one who told Shanahan that he seemed more decisive following the injury. So my question is this to you guys. Was this a blessing in disguise? And perhaps, maybe, is it possible Jimmy is more comfortable with his mobility, which we don't think is a lot of, but is he more comfortable with his mobility than he is with just trusting the play calls. What do you guys think makes Jimmy Garoppolo more comfortable without mobility? Why was he better after the injury? That it's a lot to unpack, but let's do this one by one. Each person speak, and then we're going home. 2 minutes each. Ready? Who wants to go first? No? Brian don't want to go first.
Look,
I don't want to touch that question.
Because it's true. He looked more decisive. He was better. He only had 2 incompletions. I mean, he had 140 quarterback rating, which was the highest of any quarterback all week long.
Well, I mean, when you take that one piece away from the quarterback, right? Even though we know he's not a mobile quarterback, but he has the ability to do it. And when you take that away because you're in pain and you don't want to, or you would prefer to be able to just rely on your receivers, I think he took that opportunity to, instead of, he takes that part out of his thought process. Like, I'm not running the ball if I don't have to. So where's my receivers? And so it allowed him to focus maybe more on those routes and making sure and looking at, his tree and figuring out who was open. Although we still saw him miss wide open receivers several times. So I don't know, but you're right. He was more effective, but I still think he wasn't as effective as he could be.
miss as in how? Like,
well, as he's scanning the field, and whether that's he's scanning from left to right, and by the time he gets to the right, the left is open, and we're seeing that in the replay, and we're just seeing that he's blatantly missed somebody open, whether it's Juszczyk or somebody else that could have gotten the ball, but he didn't see it because he's already past that progression or whatever. But I think that having that injury allowed him to, I don't know if it allowed him to spend that split second more deciphering his reads or what it was, but it just, I felt like him knowing that he couldn't rely on his legs at the time, that's like his work, the last ditch effort. If I have to run, I will. Right now, I got to find open receiver. And that's what he focused on. And I think that's why we saw him get better, because that part of his game was not completely taken away, but at least downgraded, right?
Yeah. All right. Go ahead, Nick.
While I'm usually hard on Jimmy Garoppolo for missing receivers downfield, I think he did a good job at getting rid of the ball at the stick level. So it wasn't just drop-offs. It wasn't just quick checkdowns to where he was throwing to the sticks for a first down this game. I mean, look, the injury, no doubt, I believe, had forced him to get rid of the football so he doesn't take a hit. Forced him to get the ball to the first guy that he saw that was getting open. And look, I don't know how his reads go, right? So I try to decipher and I try to look at his reads when he's doing it with his head. And he did not have tunnel vision this week compared to what he did last week in Arizona. Now, obviously, I'll dig more into it with the All-22. But from what I've seen, I think the injury to his ankle forced him to get rid of the football faster. As in, what I mean by that is, I don't want to take the hit on this leg again. I don't want to have to get on the ground and get up. You saw how he would hobble after the throw. He'd just jump back and a little hobble, right? But for the most part, I don't know.
He got hit when he was on the ground. I wouldn't want to either. I don't want to be down there again.
Yeah, because everybody's wearing a mask so they can't blow whistles.
Y'all joking. I got that Jets player name. I'm in the area, bro. I'll roll up. Don't hit my quarterback like that again, bro.
Yeah, that was horrible. And then the blame and said, oh, it should have been a penalty, but I couldn't blow the whistle.
Right.
The play should have stopped, but I couldn't blow the whistle because of the fact that.
If it was Mahomes, he'd have blown that whistle. If it was Brady, he would have blown the whistle. But it's Garoppolo. So again, the media and the respect he doesn't get.
Look, George Kittle definitely played a hell of a game, right? Injured or not injured.
Jimmy Garoppolo?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Dude,
thank you, Wayne.
Nick, you all right, bro?
Oh, I said Kittle. I meant Jimmy. Yeah. I was thinking. Never mind. I was thinking about
2 hours be too long, dog. We start talking about.
No. I was thinking about something else.
We start talking about the Jets and the Flintstones.
I just read this comment. National Tight End Day. George Kittle got the ball. KB didn't, and I was just like, George Kittle was in my head. But anyway, Jimmy Garoppolo definitely played a better game than he did week 1. Right now, whether that's because of decisiveness, whether that's get rid of the football, because of an injury, whether it's because he was just being more decisive and going through his reads faster and the guys were open and the availability was there for the receivers. No matter what it was, Jimmy Garoppolo, if Kendrick Bourne comes down with that one catch, and he's a perfect rating. Like, that's how good he played.
He 15 for 16. But yeah.
Well, but I'm saying before the half, almost right before the half. Then the other misplay was what? Trent Taylor?
I thought the misplay was a bad pass to Jordan Reed.
Yeah. The end zone. That's right. The one behind him. That's right.
Then he caught the touchdown on the after the time.
Right. Then he caught the touchdown on the next one. So, but still 15 for 16. And, he would have been 15 for 15 and then the play with Jordan Reed happened after that. So he still would have been perfect at that time. So, I mean, look, the dude played a hell of a game, man, on a bum ankle. And whatever it may be, just let him eat that shit again because he needs it.
No, I mean, I thought it was great that he stayed in the game, playing through that injury. I don't know how bad it was. Obviously, we don't. But the fact that he stayed in the game and was able to continue to be productive and play through that, I'm hoping that sheds some light and gives him some props from the media and from fans that want to just trash him all the time.
Yeah, definitely should earn him some steel Superman points, Man of Steel points, because he was in there. Listen, I'm just gonna go out and say that I just think Jimmy Garoppolo just got better. He just played better. Whether you can say blame it on the injury or not, I just think that he had a game plan and he had a mindset to go out there and be better because he took just about every negative thing you could throw at him from the fans, from his own fans, from the other fans, from the media, from whatever. And I think he just, he went out there with a chip on his shoulder and he says, look, I'm going to go out there and I'm going to perform better. Guys, get to these spots. I'm going to get the ball there quick, fast, in a hurry. Now, I'm not going to lie and say that injury didn't help him release the ball quicker or get rid of the ball quicker or whatever. He's already good at quick throws. That's something I don't understand why we just don't continue to do. We want to watch Jimmy throw the ball 50, 60 yards down the field. Why? Why? When he can move the ball like easily down the field with the type of wide receivers and the type of tight ends and the type of running backs we got. Freaking Tevin Coleman caught a 22-yard first down pass on a third down. It was amazing.
It was in the money. It was only where he could get to it too.
Bro, I was like, there's no way he caught that because it was a dart. And he caught it and came down and held onto the ball. All I'm saying is we've seen Jimmy throw the ball in tight windows before. I just think game one was game one. We lost. Had we won that game, we would still be talking about Jimmy, but it would have a different, weight to it. But we didn't. So he went out there and made sure that he was going to do whatever he had to do to win that game pre-injury. And then after the injury, he wanted to make sure that his team had a commanding lead. And then I think his coach told him to sit down. I don't even think Jimmy wanted to come out. I'm just going to keep it a buck. I think Kyle Shanahan's like, yo, Jimmy, my guy, check this out. We up by like 95 points, man. Why don't you just go take a chill pill, man? We're gonna.
You think he went to the locker room early at halftime because he wanted to, not the coach?
No. I think Jimmy wanted to play, and I think the coach was like, "Nah, you good." You get what I'm saying? I think Jimmy would have still went out there and been with his troops, man. Been with his players, bro. I think
you know what? I like your thinking. I like that.
No, you don't. But it's cool.
No. I do. I swear to God, I do. I'd rather you think that Jimmy was pulled instead of him saying, "Hey, coach, can I sit down?" I would much rather that. I like that thinking way more. That's what you just said, right?
That's exactly what I said.
Yeah, I like that way more. I'm sorry. I didn't mean to cut you off. Go ahead, finish.
No, I'm good, man. That's what it was. That's exactly how I wanted to end it, yo.
Yeah.
That's exactly how I wanted to end it.
You guys answered all my questions, man. I think Ayuk is a monster. I love that play by him. And I think that Jimmy Garoppolo was I think the reason that Jimmy played better is because one of his options was taken away. If you have 3 wide receivers on the play and you have to go through 3 reads, it's easier to go through 3 and then sort back between them, right? Be more decisive. If you have 4 reads, which is a run for yourself after you go through the 3 wide receivers, it's a step longer. It slows down the process. I think he seemed more decisive because one of his options, one of his reads, were gone. And I think that him running, he knew it was just that. I know it seems simplified, but I really believe that was the case. But here it is. I'm happy that it happened because maybe he'll step back and say, damn, I had a really good game. Even his checkdowns weren't to wide receivers. They were to tight ends who were 4 or 5 yards deeper than what the running backs were.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? And so his checkdowns even look better after the injury. I'll take that all day long. That's what we want to see. We want to see success from this team. That play where he got injured, where the guy dove and hit his calf.
Lower part, yep.
And then Garland, if you watch that play again, the center, he let up because Jimmy was down. And he kind of he started standing all the way up. The defensive tackle he was blocking went around him and was like, oh, I got to make sure I get him down. That's why Shanahan said it should have been a penalty. But
I think it was because Jimmy set the ball down. And the player Jimmy set the ball down after the play was over. And then he had to go back to it because he's like, oh, this guy's diving in. And I think it was just like a –
well, Jimmy went down on his knee because the guy dove and hit him from the calf down. He stayed on his knee. He started to get up. He stayed on his knee, and then he put the ball on the ground with his right hand and started to get up.
Right.
And he saw someone diving in, so he grabbed the ball so he can give it to the ref instead of leave it on the ground. Yep. So it was everybody being sure that the play wasn't over, but just in case. You know what I mean? And it just looked worse than what it was. I don't think that the defensive tackle that hit Jimmy after the whistle should have blown was playing with any kind of malice or
no. I think he was going for the ball. I think that's what he was really doing.
It still should have been a flag.
It still should have been a flag, but I don't think he was being malicious. That's what I'm saying. And Brandon Ayuk is going to be a really, really, really good player for this team. I have nothing else. I want to wrap this thing up. I thank you all for rocking out with us. There are other thoughts that I have, but we'll get to them on another show. Thank you all for tuning in. Nick, I'm going to give you final thoughts first because it looked like you had a couple more things to say.
Yeah, I was just going to talk about – I don't know if Kyle Shanahan is the one that decided to pull Jimmy Garoppolo because Nick Mullins was begging him on the sidelines to go in.
And he was in his hip pocket quite a bit there.
He was in his hip pocket like, you want me to go in? Like, when we go in? But, no, I mean, look, guys – you know, the injuries, they're going to happen, man. It's football season. It's a football team. These guys are all doing this for their living, man. We just got to stay faithful to our team. And, you know, I just can't wait to see this team, you know, even without a Nick Bosa. I can't wait to see these other guys come back, man. Julian Taylor, Ronald Blair, you're getting back. You know, week 7, they're on the PUP list. You're getting Weston Richburg back. Garland can slide over, right? Brunskill's playing horrible. This line has been pretty pitiful on the right side. So, look, we got a little stretch here that we need to win. These are must-win games. I know I said last week it's only week 2, and, you know, it's a must-win game. Well, each week is a must-win game, and the further we get into the season is a must-win. So, appreciate all you guys checking us out, man, here. We're almost at 10,000 subscribers, guys.
We need less than 300. If y'all don't get y'all asses in there and subscribe, I'm going to be pissed off.
Yeah, that's crazy.
Like, me and Mike set out when we started this thing, we were like, we looked at another show and they've been doing it 8 years or something like that, 9 years, whatever it was. And it took them a while. They weren't even at 10K at that point. And we're like, we'll be there one day. We were just hoping for 4,000, 2,000. And we're almost at 10,000, man. So we appreciate you guys.
In half the time, bro.
Yeah, in half the time. This is our 4th year starting this. So we're not even fully through 4 years yet. And appreciate you guys, all the love and support we get from you guys, man. Love all of you guys, even though we go back and forth or, you know, with each other. But, man, love you guys to death, man. And without you guys, we're nothing. I always tell you guys that. And appreciate you guys, man.
All right. Let's go to Brian next, and then we'll go to Breezy.
Actually, I don't really have any final thoughts this week. I'm looking forward to seeing how that goes. And, you know, I'm just hoping, keeping my fingers crossed that, you know, we don't have a repeat on the turf and we'll move from there. Let's hope that the depth, can step up, next man up, you know, and we get the W. That's what I want.
There you go. All right, Breezy, man, the floor is yours, man. Final thoughts. Let's take it home, baby.
All right, man. Listen, every at the end of every show, we say this little saying, right? We say, "Prepare for glory, anticipate pain, but always remain faithful." And I feel like we struggle with what that means. Like I really do, and it's bothering me. It's been bothering me, and this is why we had a whole 30 minutes on this show. You know, just talking to you guys. Like we gotta remain faithful, man. Look, this is war, bro. That's what it is. Every season, you draft, you prepare, you go out there. But there's going to be casualties in football. There are injuries, okay? They're going to happen. Now, we just have to find the mindset to overcome the adversity. And once we do, we did this all last season. Why are we panicking? I know we didn't lose Nick Bosa last season, but we lost a ton of players. We're going through the same adversity, guys. It might be a little different. It might be different players. But one thing we got to do is always remain faithful because that's who we are. And that's who we're always going to be.
Damn, that was beautiful. I don't even want to touch on it, man. Whew, that was hard, man. Guys, don't give up. Don't tap out. Don't quit. All right? We will be back. I'm going to speak for the channel. We'll be back. So make sure you guys are locked in. We'll see you guys tomorrow with a very special guest. I can't wait to bring you guys that show. And you know what I'm looking forward to? I'm looking forward to Sunday, right? My dad and my brother are a Giants fan, so I'm going back down to that basement where you guys saw me for the Packers game in the playoffs. I'll be back down there. I can smoke cigars for all 3 of the shows. Mike is hype, baby. Let's go. Let's go. I'm going to be bringing some heat, man. I'm going to be talking some trash, throwing smack at those Giants fans that are going to be out there with me. It's going to be a lot of fun. Thank you guys for watching this. And that's it, man. We're out. Prepare for glory.
Anticipate pain.
But always
remain faithful.
We out of here. Peace.